What's going on, everybody, and welcome to another jam-packed episode of Street Fighter League Pro-JP 2021. My name is Vicious, here with my man Saint Cola. We got another set of matches for you today. We just rounded up the first half of the season, and this is where it gets real tough for all of the competitors, because now that they got fully acquainted with each other, now that they've had all of this time to get their strategies going, get all the warm-ups out of the way, they really need to get some points for themselves. Again, we're only looking for the top 6 teams to go into the playoffs, but we're really looking forward to seeing how everybody's going to be handling themselves for the rest of the season, right? I did say 6, I meant to say 5, because one of those teams, again, going into the grand finals, we have to talk about all the playoff implications going forward, but this is the schedule you can expect. We've seen the teams that have been going down each and every single week, but I got to ask my man Saint Cola before we get into it. First of all, how are you feeling about the runbacks that are about to happen?
I'm feeling that this is going to be ridiculous, because now you got some data on the other people that you played. Things are going to be switched. If you were on the home team, you'll be on the away team, and vice versa. As we get to the grand finale, as we said before, 5 teams going up, 1 team in grand final spot, while the others are going to be vying for that final spot. So again, run back situation coming through for this next half, and I can't wait to see what these teams are going to do in terms of deliberation and configuration of like who's going to be where and who's going to be doing what. We saw Yanai come through for their team and get a little bit more of that power up, and man, you're going to need that big power up here for that big prize pool. 8 million yen on the line. So not only is there pride, there is prize on the line.
Right, we saw how important it is to get into those top 5 spots for the playoffs, right? Again, there's so much on the line. 8 million yen, 5 million going to first, pretty much the champions, 2 million going to second, and 1 million going to third place. I'm not going to do that conversion rate for you because it fluctuates, but I'll tell you what, it is a life-changing amount of money. And to kind of emphasize it, right, as we see the prize pool, I want to make sure you guys understand what it is, how it's going to play off for the playoffs, essentially. We are looking for the top 5 teams, right? The team that is ranked in the first place spot, they automatically qualify into the grand final. What happens is we're looking for those teams to fill in the 2nd through 5th place spots to get into another bracket to play off against each other, where the top 2 teams get to move on to face off against the number 1 seed. And that is a whole different set of tournament rules going into it as well. But the grand finals, of course, both happening in January, where we'll declare the winner overall to face off against the world champions. So that's going to be pretty interesting to see how it's going to be all played out going forward. And it's very important to notice how all of these teams have been scrapping for some of these points. We kind of talked about the standings a little bit. We kind of showed the full effect of it yesterday on Monday. See, it's hard for me to keep track of days sometimes because I feel like it's been nonstop action. But for the most part, we're going to be going through a lot of these rematches, right? And we're going to see how it plays off, because none of these teams are going to be sitting in the same spots they were in the first round robin, right? We're going to change it from the home team position to the away team position. But I want to let people know how important it is for this rule to be understood when it comes to the home team and away team. But you saw what happened yesterday between Camouflage Detonation and the Good 8 squad. Good 8 squad pretty much solidifying their spot in first place with a 3-1 victory.
That's ridiculous. But then on the reverse side, Soul coming to the sun, shining on Soul, defeating Milodon Beast 3-1 with that Yanai pick. That definitely did a lot of duty out here. So shout out to Yanai for them finally being off the bench and on the sticks. That was a sick match. We'll have to see if they put him up again. They are going to be one of the teams coming up today. We're going back, looking back at some of these matches that we've had. There's a lot of variety with the characters and things like that. And speaking of variety, we have the 3-1 right here. Man, Shinobiism taking down the Gilgun right here. When I talk about variety, look at the characters on the left-hand screen. Ryu, Akira, that match was so sick. And the Guile pick from Higuchi did a lot of work against Gilgun.
But you see the finale of it from Monday. Nagoya Oja Body Stars getting a very significant win against the number 2 seeded team, V6 Plus FAV Roto Z. And you saw how it went down. Oniki was sent up to do the intelligence work. He was doing the recon for Dogura to go up against Sakonoko, and that match was actually mad close. And the one that surprised us all, the one that got us the most hype and caused me a lot of grief because I couldn't sleep after that, it was Akira versus Tokido in a 3-0 sweep. That's got to be super important. As you can see, the standings and how important it is for these teams to stay within the top 5, and how many times they've played off in the home position as well as the away position and their game differentials. It's been an absolute nail-biter when it comes to 2nd through 5th place, but 6th through 8th, not too far away from making a huge comeback.
Yeah, they're not really that far in the distance. So surprised to see Milidon Beast underneath that red line. Seoul trying to claw their way up in Team Detonation at the very bottom, but at the very top, Good 8 Squad and FAV Roto Z sitting in 2nd place. Shiobinism right behind Gilgun there too as well, and then Ojibody start rounding to the top 5 at the current spot. But again, we are in the reverse, the rematches. I'm very curious to see what the data they've taken, what the strategy is going to be. It's got to be something more than just, I'm going to fight this person and that person. And as you also can see right here, you can see the upturn and in some cases downturn for Team Detonation in terms of, you know, their points differentials and things like that, how they've been trending. Man, oh man, they don't look good for some of the teams. But for the top 2 teams, it looks like they've stayed very, very consistent.
You see kind of like a stagnant set of results for the V6 plus Good 8 team as well. But the rest of the teams have been kind of pretty much clawing their way in and out of some of these spots, the comfort zones of 3rd through 5th place. But a little bit of a surprise though. We see some of these teams start to pull it together, get their W's for the first time, and start to bring their morale towards the team as well as themselves individually, right? One of those players being MOV, as kind of highlighted right now in the package. But for the most part, this is where it all really matters. Like, where you're currently at in the standings could really change in the second half of the round robin. Especially with the home and away rules. I was talking to somebody about it earlier. You know, we want to really emphasize the difference in Street Fighter League this year for Japan. When you're on the away team, if the team is assigned in the away position, what happens is, by default, they have to send in the order of players that they're going to put in the fight, as well as their character selection. Granted, they could still switch off if they happen to lose their first game. For the home team, with the information given by the away team, they're allowed to counterpick and freely pick their order, discussed amongst themselves, and what characters to pick. So that's how it really plays out. With that in mind, let's take a look at who's coming up for the away team for this set of matches. The Saishunkan Seoul Kumamoto, led by the Violent Emperor Nemo, with his trusty sidekick. I want to say Nemo Jr. Shuto with his ever-impressive Fury, and the Violent Clerk alongside the wild beast that is Nishikin, and of course one of my favorite players this season, absolutely the president of the world, Yanai.
Yanai, yo, he has never been a fan favorite for a lot of people. This team is full of Urians, full of robbery, and a little bit of larceny because although slightly nerfed, still super powerful, as we saw before in that Budo match. They're coming up, as he says, as the away team. Their opponents today are in part of the top spot, 2nd right now. FAV Roto Z, the strongest, however, Sako leading the charge. Behind him is a team of absolute threats. The eyes of desperation, always open. Ryusei, look at him, never blinking. Right behind is going to be the genius pro gamer himself, Tokido, Murderface incarnate. And last but not least, Papa Bonchan, the executioner of justice himself.
What a title, man. I don't even know who gave it to him, but I'll tell you what, it really sticks. Executioner of justice. Yeah! That's what I'm talking about. That is so beast. You guys are bad, man. They know they're bad too. That's the best part. They are so sick as a unit. I love seeing their personalities come together like that. It's so fun to see. So you see on the graphic on the top left, we've seen what had happened before in their last iteration, their last battle between them. FAV Roto Z beat Seoul 3-1, and you see how it broke down. Ryusei took down Nishikin, Tokido actually fell short to Shuto, and Bonchan took out Nemo. I wonder what it's going to be like once the positions have been switched, and what the order is going to be like for Team Seoul.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of Urians either way, but I would love to see a run back with Bonchan versus Nemo personally, to see maybe like Nemo going with the Urian, and it looks like they're sitting up the man himself, Yanai, and then Shuto, and then rounding out Nemo. Nishikin on the bench though.
Interesting. We've seen how he played out in his the first encounter with the FAV team. So it kind of makes sense. However, Nemo is putting himself in the anchor position yet again. Not giving himself a break at least once.
Maybe he wants that rematch. He wants that run back, dog. I feel like it's like, hey, last time you got lucky. You tried that on my Gil, now try that on my Urian, on the better brother.
True.
I am curious to see. And I do think that Nishikin, you know, having like a 1-6, you know, in terms of like wins and losses, 1-6 right now, probably needs some time to adjust. So as again, we're in that mid-range, we're in the midway mark. This is the perfect time to be like, okay, why don't you hold back, take a little bit of practice, let the people who've been doing a little bit more work in Super League Japan come through, and then while you know we're doing that, you stay in the back, hit the training lab, and then come through and come correct next time.
Yeah, so I mean that really depends on whether or not he actually gets the proper run back. If Bonchan is going to put himself in the anchor position, knowing full well, you know, the home team gets to choose whatever they want. The player that didn't play last time, I believe, was Sakonoko. He was actually on the bench, as we saw from the results. Ryusei had a great time against Nishikin. Bonchan actually defeated Nemo, so I'd imagine Sakonoko as the leader would want to put Ryusei up again to face off against Yanai. I mean, look at him. Ryusei wants it. He's like, yo, put me up first.
Young Cat's super hungry trying to get that win, but Yanai's not going to be trifled with. It does look like Ryusei Urian is going to be up first. Tokido is on the bench. Tokido on the bench. Maybe after that sound defeat that we saw yesterday, he needs a little bit of time to adjust, but either way, Tokido on the bench is massive. That means we might see, hopefully, God please willing, we see that Bonchan run back. Please let me see that Bonchan run back with Nemo.
I'd imagine Bonchan might be in that anchor position. You might be right. I will say that last instance, if he played Sagat versus Gil, it went down 3-1 in Bonchan's favor. I'm thinking to myself, maybe Sakonoko would have something to say about Nemo's Urian as well. So it'll be kind of a toss-up. I'm very interested to see it. As it stands, I'm actually more curious to see it, more interested to see Yanai, the president of the world, with that G. Remarkable gameplay, by the way. This man has been going crazy on everybody. I feel like he hasn't lost a set, if I'm not mistaken. He hasn't lost a single set. Every time he's gone up, it's been destruction. But Ryusei, on the other hand, going up first, he specifically said that he had practiced a lot to be able to earn the team's points. So he's here to pretty much prove himself. Now it's going to be a question of whether or not he could take down someone as wild as Yanai. And as sturdy, I should say. Like, his mix-ups have been so potent in the corner. He's kept it so ambiguous as to what to do, and his whiff punishes have been nothing but stellar every time we've seen him play. So I'm very curious to see how it's going to play out.
I feel like if you're playing G this season, you're definitely even more ingrained in the presidentiality of this character. Like, you definitely are ride or die with this character because he takes so much more work than last season. Last season, he was pick up and play, you know, maybe Gerber food, baby food, you know, when it came to just activate and put the robbery in them. But nowadays, you really have to think about what you do in terms of getting the level ups to keep that feature going long and strong. You know, if you're only level 1, it winds down real fast. Level 3, get to last a little bit longer. And the way that he utilizes his bar, and also as you said, that corner pressure has been fantastic. Let's see how it works up against someone who's aggressive like Ryusei, who may not even let him get caught up in the corner, you know, may not even let that situation happen. So the home team trivia is going to be coming through real soon here. Ryusei adjusting his camera. I love the fact that we get the cameras. We get to see the faces of the players, and being able to see their emotions and things like that. The theme is, what does everyone think that they are lucky about?
Well, for one, being a part of the league, I feel like, you know, being grateful that we're able to play video games and talk about it for a living is obviously got to be number one, right? But of course, if they ask Bonchan that, without a doubt, it has to be his family, right?
Yeah, he has to say
but yeah, I think
if he doesn't say that,
Sakonoko,
the wife is going to be angry.
Sakonoko definitely said the same kind of thing. He reiterated the same sentiment that I did, where he says it's Sako thinks it's very lucky to live in this era where you can play games for a living. And I agree. I 1,000% agree. Looking at it, like, think about where we're at. I mean, breaking the fourth wall, even with the viewers, we're watching our favorite game right now with some of our favorite players competing for us and themselves. That's pretty wild. I don't know. And of course, I read it too. Bonchan saying having his twins board, absolutely very blessed and feels lucky for that. Easy call, man. Family man. Papa Bonchan, what else could he really ask for?
Family power up right there. Being a family man. But yeah, as you said, blessed to be out here, be able to commentate, and also the players being able to play and give us some great Street Fighter V action. That's the theme of the month. It is November, so we're all about being thankful, and I'm thankful to see Yanai off the bench. You know, I'm thankful to see G, because a lot of people have left that character to the side. They said, I got to put the 9 to 5 in with this character. No, thank you. But Yanai is about that 9 to 5 plus overtime with this character, has stuck with it, stayed strong, has dabbled in every facet of the character. But let's see how he does against Ryusei, who's so aggressive, so hard to pin down, and it's a first of 2, best of 3 situation. And oh man, what do you think, Vicious? What do you think is going to happen here?
So, looking at Ryusei's previous record, he is 3 out of 4 in terms of the sets he has won. The only time where he's actually been completely demolished and not winning any games in a set was against Colleen, piloted by Kawano. With that said, I think that it tells me 2 things. The neutral was a lot stronger in terms of Kawano being able to control the pace. Also, the offensive capabilities kind of tells me that Ryusei might falter under pressure just a little bit. So we've talked a lot about Yanai. We've talked about his offensive capabilities. However, I will say that Ryusei does play a pretty mean neutral game. He understands the situations, he knows how to adapt on the fly, but one of the things that I do kind of knock him for just a little bit, very, very slightly, is sometimes his impatience on defense. I want to know what he's going to have for someone like the young president, who could actually force a lot of these errors a lot more often in this matchup because of the fact that one sole feature, and that is the command grab from G. It makes people so antsy in the corner, and it makes you kind of make some irrational decisions. I want to know what Ryusei is going to do once he finds himself in a situation where he's stuck in the corner. That's what I want to know mostly in this matchup.
That's true, and I'm curious about also the whip punish game too. You can't use the crouch mean kick as much. Ryusei's going to have to be really careful because the fingertips of G are like dynamite. One touch and you're caught up in the corner, especially with the bar used. So you got to be super careful about sticking up the long, lanky limbs.
Round 1.
Yeah, that's a very good point. I think, you know, G having one of the best bufferable normals, one of the best light bufferable normals in the game, really makes it difficult for Yurian to approach on the neutral. And there you go, swinging already. You see Yanai knowing full well he gets to walk up into his face and kind of do it safely. All because of that light buffer. Damn, what a stop from Ryusei. You see the patience and the delay for the counter hit against Yanai. This is the first time we've actually seen him in trouble this early.
That violence. Eyes always open, stays in front, headbutt. Yes, would have did it, but it's one touch. He saves the bar, gets a Batista bomb. Easy finish right here for Ryusei, putting on the pressure. And that's the thing about G, he lacks in that defense. He doesn't have the 3-frame, he doesn't have the DP. A lot of things have to be super calculated, so you have to be really careful about when you press. If you're feeling real depressed.
I like the usage of the fireball a little bit more often from further ranges, and he's not making himself susceptible to the jump in. I think that range is very hard to react to. What a whip punish! And what an instant jump short for the V-skill afterwards? Yanai. That was slick.
You should see that as like a closer to get the stun, like doing it raw the neutral. Finds a counter hit, EX addition back, fierce V-skill, fill up that bar too. Command grabs, playing hands on the man, does it again. I like that he's going for these V-skills. And he's it over and again, double down with the bar. He's in V-trigger. You don't even need it.
Cola. Did you see the different types of mix, the variety pack he sells at Costco for a discounted price, no meter? Free 99? This guy, Yanai, has all of it. This guy had the whole goodie bag full of chicks. October's already gone. You don't have to deliver the candy anymore.
It's all the flavors you like, all the different candies that you just enjoy. None that you don't. Well, here we go. This is the aggression that you have to have as Ryusei. You cannot let this character get going. You can't let the momentum. Put him in the corner, make him feel unusual. EX doubling down with the bar, gets a stun. He's right back in. And that Ignite Thunder coming through in the clutch. Oh, you are definitely dead. Didn't even need the EX cherry tackle right after to find the finish. This is a slugfest out in the parking lot, and I'm all about it.
You're pulling your phone out? Well, me too. I'm putting this on World Star immediately. These guys are swinging for the fences. This is the explosion of the youth. We haven't spent any time on the left side of the screen. In fact, a lot of the damage, majority of it came into that corner from both Yanai and Ryusei. I cannot believe that Yanai actually folded like a cheap suit in the corner the way he did. I have not seen him actually falter on defense that much. It's so impressive, just the intimidation factor from the mix, or at least the meaties coming from Ryusei. He didn't even want to take the throw more than once, if you notice how often he pressed a button on wake up.
The man was trying to swing as soon as he opened the eyes, but Ryusei put him back to sleep. And that's the thing is, it's harder to be able to press these situations. You don't have quick buttons. And I'm surprised that we even see like a V reverse or a V shift, you know, from Yanai. He's very studious, very studied. But he, again, as you said, cracked like an omelet as soon as the pressure got going. And if I'm Yanai, I gotta be super careful and wake up, maybe switch things up with the V shift, because what's the point of V bar if you're not even able to spin it if you're dead? You know, if you're dead, you can't spin that V bar. So Ryusei up one, let's see who gets it done.
It's difficult, man. I feel like the only time he had opportunities to V shift was in the corner, but again, you were talking about how much Ryusei was on him. There was no way. He was definitely scrambling that omelet. He was scrambling the eggs to make that omelet, I should say. He got him in the mix. Now he's seasoning them afterwards. He's already cooked.
Whew. This is looking over easy. Not my favorite flavor. It's a medium on the buffer. Look at this with the quickness. Ryusei, please give us some more games. He says no. Side switch throw quick. No. I got beef with you. I got beef with you. Yo, Ryusei on set point. Expeditiously.
I don't know how to call it, man. This has just been a full clinic from Ryusei showing his full power as Yurian's not afraid. This is great for Yanai, getting the buffer off the stand short. Gets the safe jump as well. And the block from the instant overhead. Ryusei not afraid of the loads, which makes sense, by the way. You take a look, right? G doesn't have anything to go into from those low medium kicks outside of the trigger.
Got real close to first for that thing to be a danger. Oh, here we go. Never mind the EX. Back fist V skill. EX headbutt that we busted out. Get some distance.
What a defensive maneuver from Yanai! Straight jump again. And he stopped the V shift. Is that going to be more than enough? It is the tail end of the V skill coming in from Yanai. That was actually so smooth to use that jump short as an option.
And it was amazing because that's like having one of those like innate defensive tactics with the character, right? Like, okay, if I do this, I can kind of, you know, get back into neutral play. And now it's all offense all damn day. Puts the V-skill on. Command grab. This is where you see might crumble. The V-shift. This time goes for the break.
Get the throw. Man, Yanai has been susceptible to a ton of throws throughout the entirety of the set. I don't think he's broken one. He does get the power up off of the crush counter.
Can't do that for free. Yeah, too quick with it. Yanai having that full screen low.
Oh, he did it wrong again. Ryusei got away with it. V-shift out of there. We were talking about using it a lot more. Oh my, how many times has he gotten away with it? He can't keep getting away with it. He ran into the throw. They're waiting. Another throw. Back throw this time. Coming from Ryusei. The mirror comes out. EX headbutt into the mirror. No, doesn't get a juggle or doesn't even get the reset. The anti-air is there from Yanai, and the trade keeps him alive. And speaking of trades, all tied up 1-1. Yanai doing a fantastic job of keeping his composure. And I do particularly like the defense against the Aegis Reflector. It was so powerful that it knocked St. Cola's feed out the window. He's actually climbing out of his balcony to retrieve it as we speak. So don't worry, he'll be back as we get into the next match. It is still 1-1 here, the final game between these two individuals. Get the full conversion of it. A little bit of the stagger of the lights, and the anti-air back up from Ryusei now into the corner. G is stuck. What is Yanai gonna do? Does get the big fierce. Gets a power up after the confirm into the dash, and an EX dash up as well. The safe jump connects. The jump in is close to stun, and the block is there. Yanai 100% ready for the EX headbutt this time. It was only a matter of time until he got the block. Just one throw away. Is he gonna take it after the safe jump? The instant air short. Another punish. Big patience coming in from Yanai, and it puts him at match point against Ryusei. 2 for 2 in terms of blocking the EX headbutt on defense, and now he's in full control on neutral. He's been hanging out, going back and forth, using those low medium kicks as well, really controlling the pace. What a call out, using the wheel kick against the fireball, now pushes Ryusei into the corner. The stand short light buffer could have been a big deal, but instead gets the crush counter and knocks him up so high for the rest of the jungle. Now getting closer to that V-Gate power-up. What is Yanai even going to use it? We have one more for stun, just to throw an important attack from Ryusei. Here comes the activation. Into the mirror, we're going to see the juggle into the corner from the side. We have one more mirror, the neutral jump from Ryusei. And the reset as well, don't get caught. That's going to be enough for a stun. You already know, and I cannot believe it. Ryusei, what looked like a dire and grim situation, gets the reset, and the train 2 times over. This is so dangerous for Ryusei. How is he going to stop the president? How is he going to stop the president? He barely whipped out of the way. Here comes the V-skill from Yanai. He's trying to close it out with as many fireballs as possible. The crouch jab seals, and you can see the sigh of relief. He's breathing so heavily. Yanai clutching it out over Ryusei in the first game. Woo, that was a set. I don't know if we got our man back. I don't know if St. Cola is back in the business, but man, he missed a set. He missed quite the set. It was actually super close. If you're part of Team Seoul, you gotta be feeling very relieved. You can tell by his facial expression and body language alone how much it meant to him. He was holding his breath. You could see just how close it could have been between these two titans. The young generation is looking very sharp. We have a lot of hope when it comes to the future of Street Fighter V. And in these two individuals, when you saw that exhibition, best believe that is only a fraction of their power and how good they're about to be later in the future. Off to a great start for Team Seoul. If you're looking at their prior results in terms of what happened in their first showdown in the initial start of the round robin for the season, Ryusei actually was up first, took it down against Nishikin. A whole different story this time around. You can see the stats, 2 for 2 in anti-airs from the side of Yanai getting the W, but Ryusei, 3 out of 5, by the way. Very important thing to note, 3 out of 5 when it comes to invincible reversals. Got blown up for those last 2 headbutts that caused him to falter. But I will say, despite all that, he almost made it work regardless. We saw the potential of the comeback and slightly missed because of the defense from Yanai. That's what I wanted to see. I wanted to know what Yanai was going to do in terms of getting himself in the mix. He suffered a little bit in the first, actually no, the second game, I think, and managed to make it through against Ryusei. I was very, very impressed by actually the defense on both sides when it came to that corner control. And it's so weird to hear also when we saw how it started off in the first game, how both players pretty much spent their entirety in the dojo on the right side of the screen because how great the offense was on both ends. It was very, man, that was 100% the match I wanted to see between the two younger generation Street Fighter V players. Which leads us to the next match. Bonchan is actually, I think he wants to put himself up next, which is kind of what I predicted. I don't know if you wanted to get involved in the run back against Nemo. But I would also like to see how Sakonoko does against Shuto. If I'm playing the probability game, I'm thinking to myself, I wouldn't want Nemo to play Bonchan again because of how much he could have downloaded, right? In the last encounter that they had, the Sagat versus Gil matchup. It might be a little different this time around with Bonchan as the anchor, but again, if I were a betting man, I would want to put Bonchan against Shuto. I would want to put that kind of pressure on him to see what the young gun has in store for the veteran. In fact, I also want to see whether or not Bonchan is going to utilize the Sagat. Yes, he is against Urien. This is what I like to see, Saint. I want to know what the Sagat has in store for this Urien in particular.
Let's go, the king coming on the screen. Let's, bro. I get a little unusual myself when I see Sagat. You know, this is the ride or die character. Not really ride or die, I should say, because he definitely has a Karen. But he's been about this Sagat for years upon years. In Street Fighter 4, his legacy was there. In Street Fighter 5, he continues to make this character work. And he has, if y'all didn't see recently, on his Twitter, he had I think it's like a 99% win rate online. Like, honestly, it's something to behold if you're taking this character to that kind of limit to have a 99% win rate with a bunch of killers on ranked. And Bonchan says himself, just watch me win. that's how confident he is. And when we've seen him play in the Urian matchups, he looks damn near confident. All the anti-airs always on deck. You got the DPs, obviously, the forward heavy kicks and the heavy kicks from Sagat. You got the fireball pressure that makes it real difficult for Urian to get anything going. And the high and low tiger shots, the heavy additions, are sped up to make it real quick and hard for Urian to get anything with like the B skill 1s or 2s get going to cut through the fireball pressure. So this isn't too bad of a matchup for Sagat.
You know, I'm looking at his overall record. There hasn't really been a variety of matchups he's played consistently. I think he's been pretty much tested pretty well with a wide variety of characters. If you're looking at his overall record, he's 3-6 in terms of matchup victories. Primarily played Karen throughout most of them, and has only utilized Sagat once, and it just so happened to be against this team, against Nemo, versus that Gil. So I'd imagine, you know, with very similar structures between Gil and Urian, right? Obviously they operate pretty differently. But I will say the normals and the ranges are somewhat similar. So I'd imagine he'd want to utilize someone like Sagat to kind of take care of this matchup where Urian can't really traverse past fireballs anyway. Like, he can't use his long limbs to go past it. He doesn't have the kind of fireball that could contest the plethora of fireballs that Sagat can throw out at a faster rate. So it's going to be very interesting to see. We do have the away team trivia going on right now as Shuto prepares himself. He says his cash card was exactly 0 yen when he bought something last week. He felt lucky about that. In terms of the previous topic, what do you guys feel lucky about in this day and age? Michigan also had one himself. He bought a Lucky Charm and held it to the last episode during Nemo's match, and Nemo won eventually. It was a lucky episode for him. So some are superstitious, some are just thankful. Either way, it's a real lucky day that we get to tune into Street Fighter League Japan this week as we get ourselves ready for Shuto and Bonchan.
I'm curious to see how Bonchan's is going to operate against Shuto, who's way more on the defensive side. Want to use V-shift, V-break, V-reversal. And V-reversal actually, when you get close enough to utilize, isn't always the worst option, or V-break against fireballs. You know, you get that pushback. That may be kind of detrimental because you're trying to come through against the zoning game. If you haven't caught up in the corner, an offensive V-reversal or break, put some gray life on and make any hit hurt even more. So someone like Shuto will also use that to, you know, maybe cut through some of the fireball pressure just to get a little bit of space between them. Let's see what happens. Bonchan going up against a young man Shuto. Let's get it.
It's so interesting too to kind of utilize that strategy to push. You know, you want to favor it for positioning, get a little bit of gray life, sure, but it has to be in a moment to actually secure the corner, right? One of the big problems though is that Urian's main source of damage comes from the mirror, the comeback factor. I should say the biggest threat would be the mirror.
Oh, for sure. Character's all about. Big EXDP right there, beastly with it. Trying to find his way out of the corner. And the anti-air gets a crush counter DP. The Bonchan fighting back, and this is difficult for Sagat. He's not really known for having like big comebacks. Like, his V-trigger is really more about, you know, find those hits to do it, and, you know, specific situations to maximize the amount of damage. But Shuto's V-trigger, the Ace Reflector, puts you in the mix. Will it blend? Of course it will. Gotta find more hit for the win.
And the overhead from way outside. Bonchan kind of readjusting his side. He looked at it, he's like, what? I got hit by that? How many frames of startup is that?
Look at the fat data real quick. Already called for the corner. Actually, don't immediately go for the ace headbutt. Again, pushing this character to the corner. But Bonchan knowing how to fight out. Doesn't go for the back throw though, just the normal one. So back to mid screen. This is good for Bonchan. Good for Sagat. Keeping that space for the heavy kick. And the mid.
I can't even imagine. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say the medium kick is really good for folks, but you can't imagine what.
I was gonna say I can't imagine trying to keep Bonchan contained with the limbs that he's been utilizing, right? The stand roundhouse, also while getting the stun and the damage. His usage of stand roundhouse at the max distance has been so consistent, right? Shuto ran into every normal possible, just trying to keep Bonchan contained.
Too much damage. Has him in the corner with the Beast Bomb. Yo, just taking back the turn with the ace headbutt. Runs it, but here's a knockdown with the crouch arena kick. The fireball side switch. Easy DP right there.
Damn. It's so much patience, so many solid reach from Bonchan. He understands what a person wants to do when they're trying to get out of the corner. Except for that time, you can't predict the unpredictability of the EX tackle. There's no way.
November, man. Runs it again, try to get that corner push. We don't block, it's not too bad. There's that B reversal we're talking about. Get that great lap going.
Bonchan willing to sit it out, still has the trigger on deck, but I will say Shuto does a great job. Oh man.
Oh.
Let me fix my face. Shuto does a great job of doing what now?
Eat these tiger shots, dog. As Bonchan looking like a bartender. To finish it, either side. B-trigger applied, ace reflector, one more, but the DP to do it. Throw in bomb to take care. No grip.
Sagat win.
Are you kidding me?
That'll do it.
How did Bonchan find that right moment to get the uppercut? We were talking about how good he is as a Mahjong player. He understands players' tendencies and he knows how to make those reads. He's not only checking out all these books. This man is a studious person. He is now the librarian of the Street Fighter school. He is definitely making sure that all these reads don't go unchecked. He makes sure all the books get checked out first under his knowledge. It's actually pretty wild for him to actually throw out that uppercut away from the throw. That is so risky.
That's tight. Risk but rewarded is Bonchan. And man, you like, listen, I'm the librarian, dog. You probably don't even know what the Dewey Decimal System is. You're too young for that one, Shuto. But how he played that is so strong, and he acclimated to the defensive style of Shuto. I'm curious, so what, like, you know, the fact that he is so great on the anti-airs, decision-making, things like that, but it's just like slight adjustments from Shuto, right? Like slight adjustments in terms of V-trigger. Like, imagine if that was baited, you would have got the health depleted and deleted. So it's just these
for sure
small little fixes from Shuto, maybe stutter step a little bit and see what it do.
What do you think it is about Shuto, though? I mean, like, he had a solid run on offense in that last round. There was a couple of mishaps where Bonchan made it all the way back with a critical arc confirm. What is it about Shuto that needs to kind of be adjusted? You kind of see it, right? There's something that's actually been pretty blatant about it in terms of this matchup.
I feel like he's just not as consistently threatening. Like when I look at Ryusei's play, like it's a consistent amount of threat. But things like this, you're just giving opportunities, like these jumpers and things like that. Can't test this man's game. He will DP, he will anti-air you, so you have to play the ground game. Easier said than done. Those fireballs are super frustrating. You have to find a different way to come through in the league.
Even, oh my god, I will say, you know, you were talking about the neutral. Shuto just pretty much bypassed it, getting the jump in. Damn, making a deal with the devil again! That is absolutely huge.
Right
I
here.
will say for Shuto, a ton of damage incoming. Reset, the throw will do it, but still slowly staggering, trying to see if Bonchan was gonna fall for the frame trap, but no sir. Let's get the activation of the trigger. Just one more touch for Shuto. That's gonna be more than enough. I love the usage of the V reversal. So smart. I will say,
vicious.
one of the things I wanted to see from Shuto,
okay, hit me.
I wanted to see how he resets the timing of the tiger shots. That's one of the things I wanted to see. And that's also what I was getting to. Him using the meter to get past the fireballs quick.
Exactly. Also using V-trigger too possibly to use maybe like that one hit of armor to delete some of the fireball situation. He switched V-triggers. I'm like, I have not seen a Urian go to V-trigger 2 in a long time, let's say from the EU. But that's a big punish right there on the headbutt one touch situation. Goes for the throw, that's a stun and done. The angry Scar.
Yeah, very subtle difference there coming in from Shuto. We haven't seen the activation. We just see the 2 bars for the Tyrant Slaughter, the V-Trigger 2. We'll see if that actually makes a difference.
Yeah, not many Urian players use that, but I feel like not many people know how to fight that too, right? Like if you're in the EU, you got a few people like, you know, Boss and stuff like that that utilize it, but it's a rarely used V-trigger. But I feel like, you know, Shuto's using that more for the V-reversal situation. Still not helping out though. Bonchan with the lead until that EXF cherry tackle. Cancel, we out of there. Didn't get a punch, but made him waste some bar. That's not too bad. Resources off the table for a bit.
We're gonna see another EX headbutt coming in from Shuto, and yes sir, getting the forward throw. Is he gonna go for the activation? He has to now after that target combo to keep him safe.
The chase now, hot pursuit.
Could he have done another round? It
the
doesn't
shimmy.
matter. Actually, that's what you were talking about in the last game. You were saying Shuto needs to utilize a little bit of this shimmy more often than not.
little bit more active. Absolutely fantastic Shudo. And now you got the threat of a V-trigger too or a V-trigger that comes a little bit earlier, right? So you can spin V-bar a little more reliably in terms of V-reversals, get them in the corner, and still have time to shine with the V-trigger. Now, not as strong as Aegis, because that puts you in just a setup that you have to deal with and forces the mix. But any hit is going to hurt a lot. Plus, you get a ton of corner carry with 1-to-1.
So I think, you know, having the 2-bar V-trigger pretty much gets it to that activation sooner, sure. But I think with Aegis Reflector just having 3 bars also, it just means you have a little bit more on defense readily available than having to build it up, right? Again, if you spend 2, you're pretty much out in trigger 2. You spend 2 in trigger 1, you have 1 left over. So again, it's not really whether or not he gets it sooner, or at least for defense, but this is going to be huge for offense mostly.
Seeing it right here. Gets back his turn, goes his negative. Still Christine the Crane with the overhead. EXDP though from Bonchan. Some distance. Bonchan can definitely make the return over C. If he finds the right hits, hard for Sagat, but if there's someone that can do it, it's Bonchan. Maybe next round.
This is a whole different Urian you have to face off against. You thought you were going to face off against Nemo? No, you put yourself here. You were confident against this matchup, and Shuto was going to show you up for it. That was actually a really good uppercut, by the way. That was pretty sick.
Yeah, he's been really good on the impact. I mean, that's something you have to have as Bonchan. Look at that right there. No knees, please. Consistent.
Absolutely disgusting.
Uh-oh. Oh, you know what time it is.
Dirty man.
Overrated. You know what time? Oh, never mind. Hold on now, Bonchan. Said, let me get that side switch off the EX. Medium punch in the fireball. Neutral overrated. Long have we waited. Aegis outdated. V-trigger 2 activated. Now it's on the table though for Shudo.
I love it. I love it. During the tail end of that target, or excuse me, that tackle to get the rest of the combo. It's so close. Shuto is just trying to inch his way forward, looking for some sort of whip punish, and also checking him. That's got to be more than enough. The dash up after the trigger activation. Bonchan tying it all up. Final game, final round.
Fight.
I'm loving this match. I love the fact that Shudo has switched to something different, but the current DP to delete that B skill off the table. Not letting anything go for free at all. I love how he says the distance to make sure that lands too.
What a whiff punish there from Shuto, getting sued as well. Talk about that V-reversal, using it offensively. Now he gets to keep Bonchan in the corner, but firing right back with his own V-reversal is Bonchan. Yes, sir. Reset the timing against the Tiger shot. He was anticipating right there, hence the neutral jump. But still, Bonchan keeping it so steady, just rocking back and forth between Tiger shots and normals.
Trade right there. The finesse and bless. There we go. Bonchan pop it off, bringing out the king and making it clean.
Wins.
Beautifully done there from Bonchan. That last sequence, he was playing off of Shuto's impatience so much more often than like the other games that they were playing. And you gotta be, as Bonchan, you gotta be feeling real good about yourself, right? Reclaiming the victory, tying it all up. But I will say for Shuto, that was an extremely impressive showing against Bonchan.
Yeah, I like the V-Trigger 2 usage. I like him switching to something different that maybe Bonchan was expecting. Bonchan, you know, over time got prepared with it, but I like the fact that we're seeing something different from the Urian players out here, not showing the same thing like, okay, you got me with the Aegis, let me do something different. Shudo, that was a close match. You know Bonchan be sweating out here. I can't wait to see what anybody's saying about this on the Twitterverse, elsewhere, to see, you know, a Urian player do something different with V-Trigger not choose Aegis.
As we get ourselves ready for the upcoming statistics, a lot of the times we see some pretty impressive stats. Actually, I was going to say, I was trying to focus on the invincible reversals from both sides, right? EX headbutt kind of missing the mark. He did it 4 times over from Shuto, 100% on the anti-airs, but Bonchan, speaking of anti-airs, the king of it. I see that it's only 7 out of 9, but it's still, you know, being able to catch that many consistently is so good. 2 out of 3 EX uppercuts hit. not bad either.
Yeah, wasn't one of them like literally a weird situation where Shudo had did the EXD or did normal knees actually out and Bonch had just whipped the XDP completely. So, you know, some of that might have been from that. I'm not sure. I gotta go back and recount, but either way, just as you said, having a lot of DPs on the deck and a lot more anti-airs just in general. Good stuff from Bonch. And again, you have to have that if you're a Sagat player, and their team feeling real good about that one. Not phased by the V-Trigger 2, Urian at play. And now we get to our anchor match. Man, oh man. We didn't get to see the Bonch go up against Nemo, but what are we gonna see next though?
Gonna be Nemo going up against Sagat, considering Tokido being on the bench for this week's match against Team Seoul. You can kind of see Yusei kind of apologizing a little bit in regards to his current loss over Yanai. It was a very close set though, I will admit. Tokido also having a couple of words for his team as well. I'm sure he has a lot to say towards Sakonoko as he gets ready for Nemo, the Violent Emperor. But in this matchup, actually, before I get into that, we did get word that Boncha was saying he almost snapped in the last match. It was such a close match, and that, yeah, you could tell when he popped off, there was like a side of him that was like, you know, the super competitive side from Boncha. You could tell how much it meant to him, and then immediately put back into reality. He's like, oh wait, I probably can't be too loud. I hope I didn't wake up any of my kids or something. Even though it's like, you know, not too late in the day for them in Japan. But either way, that was quite the matchup. But Sako going up, the Halberd himself going up and saying, it's time, as he faces up against Nemo Zurian.
It's time? That is deadly. You don't have to hear a big dissertation or whatever. That's how you know someone's about the business. It's time. Like, oh man, good luck, Nemo. But then again, Nemo, I feel like, has been, you know, pretty hot lately, doing a lot better than, you know, the team kind of was struggling a little bit, but came back with a big win for the anchor position. And I feel like he's always like, especially throughout this entire year, has been on the verge, on the cusp of like big wins, like just decisions, small decisions away from losing. And now he's got to come out here, anchor position to fight Sako, team leader of Team Seoul. Let's see who gets it done.
Yeah, so looking at his current match record, I should say, he's been in the anchor position a handful of times. He's only won, I think, 2 of them as the anchor out of the 5 times he's played so far. All the Urians have lost so far when you're taking a look at it. Hopefully Nemo could kind of change that statistic around against someone like Sakonoko. But in regards to the matchup, right, we're kind of looking towards what Nemo needs to do to close the gap against Vinod as soon as possible and pretty much enforce his will in this corner with the pressure that we go for the throw.
Just with those knees, back swing as soon as the activation came through. Definitely willing to hold these throws, but not the chase down, the hop pursuit right here from Sako. Try to find a reset. With the B skill, still has one more orb up in play. Saving for that post stun, for that stun. Finds a crush, and that'll seal it.
That was actually disgusting. Sakonoko with a huge smile on his face. He's like, you know, I'm glad you did that. I didn't want to have to guess, but, you know, I appreciate you. I guess right.
Putting that little gap in there to make him, the EXF butt, get cracked.
Get the skill off. Now looking EX tackle, but no, that was such a weird exchange. 2 hits stopped the armor towards the end. Or actually, no, I think it's because it slightly whipped.
Was prepared. Had a punish on deck. Or a continuation, I should say. Let's call up in the corner. Good check up from Sako.
Oh, you're actually dead.
Did you see the side? Oh my god. The side from Nemo, he was like, dang, it got me. The dashes kept getting got, and Nemo looking a little stressed after that sequence. Sako looking super confident right here. Checking the dashes.
You could tell Nemo doesn't want to even play at the pace that Sakonoko plays at. He hasn't found... So, before I say he hasn't found what he's looking for, I want to really emphasize how quick he put Sakonoko in the corner in a couple of those matches, right? It's just a matter of Sakonoko playing such solid defense, getting himself out of those situations multiple times over. I think Nemo needs to find a way to keep him there and make himself risk averse, right? If he loses momentum or if he loses offensive capability, he needs to back off just a little bit.
Right. and not be so susceptible, throwing out the DPs and things like that. And these dashes have been caught. When there's not bar, when Sakamoto's not willing to use bar, it's a little bit easier to get the dashes through, but Sako just getting these fat leads, and then you have to worry about V-Trigger later on in the round. Happen to take him down. The tech, though, let's see what he does up in this corner. This is Nemo's time to shine. He's got V-Trigger locked. He has to unload.
This is fine, right? Resetting the situation instead of forcing the errors, that's going to be just fine, keeping Sakonoko in this corner, but using the orb to create some space for himself. That has been the key for Sakonoko's defense. And man, finally finding the mark with the EX tackle. Firing away with trigger. No, you cannot do that. You cannot at all do that. There was no way that Sakonoko was going to allow you to punish with V-trigger like that because of the fact that orbs are coming out. He could block, he could send the orbs out, and that's one of the biggest nerfs, right? If you get hit as Urian, your mirror will dissipate.
Nice EXE right there. And you have to do that against EXEs. You can't just try to anti-air with the orb, crouch spear swing like that. It's super difficult, and it takes a lot of timing too. Prediction and just being prepared. Sako just with it. He knows how to fight this matchup. This has got to be from just months and months of fighting Ryusei, fellow team member. Understanding the matchup, but Nemo got to show him something different. Has him caught up in the corner. Batista bomb throw. No cancel the EX. Has him locked. The dash up throw. One more touch. Finish it.
Oh, that could have been so dangerous for Nemo, but stays alive, gets around on the board. That's what I'm talking about. Sakonoko, although a little short, he could have got a big punish off the knees from trigger, just slightly off the mark. Critical in reaction to the fireball. You gotta feel real good about yourself if you're Sakonoko because of you being able to play the neutral now. Send out the orb, apply this presence on the screen.
And plus you have V-Trigger later on the round, so that's also something that Nemo has to worry about. Was ducking. Found a full punish right there. Crush with a walk-up. Look at the confidence from Sako. EX headbutt does find the mark though. Coconut brain. Batista bomb too.
Reset off the coil kick. Man, that was deep, but he still gets the block. Sakonoko. Oh boy. It didn't matter. The stun is racking up. Plus frames, and he does get it. Nice work from Nemo, keeping it going, tying it up 1-1. I gotta say, first of all, Sako's defense off of that coil kick reset was insane. I legit thought it was gonna be on the same side.
I got people at home. Y'all got too, but not Sako until that last part of the shimmy using the crouch jab. And Sako also activating the same way that he did before, right? To deal with the V-trigger. Even though, he lost that round. I like the fact that he's showing that, like, Nemo, if you're going to activate, you got to deliberate on how you're going to come through against this. It has to be an on-hit situation. You can't throw that sucker out wall when you see me activate.
Oh my god, how many times he got caught with the orb just coming back against his tackle, his headbutt.
And the pressure from Sako
finds
the stun. Pressing that cranium. DP finisher, of course. Sako going up around.
That was a nice confirm off of the EX orb release too. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, now you see Sako getting a little more offensive, spinning that bar just to get some damage on the deck, and swinging out here with the scare. Many Monat players would love to play it nice and late, poke away, but Sako willing to change things up. Hit him with the flip mode.
Now there's going to be a huge deterrence for Nemo, but out of the corner with the drill kick, very clever. Nemo making him pay for it regardless. That was actually just unfortunate timing for the tackle to get stuffed out like that, and here comes the orbs. Important tech for Nemo. What a time break.
Is it again? This time with a punish. Didn't have the tackle behind it though. No knockdown. The side switch. Nemo has full control, has a lead. Yo, from the back doors on Domino's.
Yet again, still trying to dash his way through. And the medium kick, nice and easy, no risks taken there. Nemo is starting to adapt towards the way that Sakonoko wants to play, not as impatient.
That's really important, right? You want to lose a lot of health early in the round. You want to be able to, use your buttons. Your buttons are going to be better than Manat's, right? And to be able to skate step through some of the orb pressure that she's got, like being able to utilize that. But it's just moments like this where Sako sends back the fireball same day delivery, or is, caught duck and finds a punish on the headbutts. It's unfortunate for Nemo, and the sweep off the feet right back at him.
Throwing the fireballs as well. Oh, just slightly off the mark on that one. Out of there, the target combo still manages to hit the second half. Nemo managing to get the V-Skill 1. He needs to get this armor, yes sir. He's just trying to find his way in for the activation. A full-on combo into the corner now. Watch out for the second mirror. How is it going to be released?
On the EX dash up light. Didn't have any charge behind it to get a little bit more damage. I like how he backs off immediately, as we were talking about before. But Sako rushing him down, going rounds.
Back to
the chase down on the V-ship. You're just gonna die tired. Sako.
Minato wins.
That conversion was absolutely the sickest thing I saw from his performance in Street Fighter League in general. That juggle, the continuation of that combo was absolutely disgusting. This guy Sakonoko has thought of it all. Ridiculous. 2-1 right now is the lead for Sakonoko. Looking great for V6 Plus FAV Roto Z against Nemo. But I will say Nemo is slowly starting to piece together the puzzle.
Put together. I feel like we seeing Sako gobble this dude up like Thanksgiving. Like we seen him get into the Nemo's defensive habits, catch him before he even comes through with the X tackles and things like that, is able to stay solid against a character that is all about the rushdown. And the normals too. Avoiding the medium kicks and the heavies. We've seen the Nemo get better about it as these rounds have gone on, but then we see Sako willing to spin bar to get some distance for the EX or push, right? We've seen him run the B triggers to get the chase downs, things like that. And Nemo just on the back foot, and now on the back foot in terms of games, because this is game point for Sako.
Right. And so we're going to see how it plays out, right? Nemo, I think, is starting to understand the tendencies of Sakonoko once the orb is released, that he cannot press his luck with anything like a tackle or a headbutt. But that time, when he doesn't have it at the very end, that's a great time to utilize the tackle.
Ooh, beautiful anti with the B skill. She has trouble dealing with those antis, but he's spacing himself out just perfectly and timing just right. And if you make a mistake, that's allowing Yurian to come in and act that violence that he's all known about.
Oh. Man, there was so many times over Sakonoko was trying to use his V-Skill. There you go, finds the mark this time, but he's taking too much free damage. I mean, it's cool. Oh, what a time to backdash on the conversion. He's going for the side switch. He understands what he wants to do so well. He's like, you know what, I'm in full control. I get to control myself on the screen, and I'm prioritizing the spacing and the positioning the most.
So going to the corner. Nemo takes him there with the conversion, sets up shop with the B trigger. This one might help out a little bit as he sets it up right in front, and we'll find the finish with the Batista bomb. A little bit better usage, sets the mirror up in front. Doesn't try to send it out, during the activation. Stays solid. I do like Sako looking for that switch, though. Looking for a way to stay out of the corner, to, stay out of these situations before they get worse. That's a big part of Street Fighter V and fighting games in general. You shouldn't have been there. How you get out of a mix, don't be there in the first place.
I completely agree. And Sakonoko's doing a great job of that. He's playing so hard in neutral and make sure that he doesn't get caught in those scenarios. If he finds an opportunity to reset the positioning, he'll absolutely take it, whether it's a trade or not. And he does such a great job of nullifying the fireball threat against Nemo. Look at the way he's controlling the pace. This man is a monster. Oh boy, that could have been huge.
Ooh,
Nemo
still finds a punish.
I can't believe it. He actually had a chance to use the mirror.
Wasn't able to make much off of it, though. This is set point Sako.
Orb, and that's a great time to get himself out of the corner, utilizing the mix after the block spin, the block spin from the orb. He did it! That's how he fell short in the first game! What? That exact sequence! Love it. Sakunoko just cheating the movement against. Man, he's using everything against Nemo. It's so tough right now. It's so tough.
See Nemo just like Nemo. You can tell that he's just by his movement, just kind of shaky.
You did not.
Oh, shake him down.
You did not break his ankles like that. That was disgusting.
Savages on these streets. Reset. Oh, the Bronx stole from Nemo. Activation. Gonna make the comeback.
No, not like this.
Founding version of EX. Reset.
It's not gonna be enough. It's not gonna be enough.
You go for a reset.
Watch out.
All that damage. All that scaling.
Sakunoko buffing away. He's buffering away too, just in case. Don't get antsy with it.
Stay solid.
And he closes it out with a critical art. Here comes the orb and the check. One more close. He could get the chip. He could get the chip. It's just a matter of how he's gonna do it. Slide under the fireball. Don't get reflected. Don't get reflected. Oh, he spent the bar.
Sako still at the bar though.
What?
Breaking the time over, but falls to the fireball. Oh no! Sako.
What happened? Why did he do that? Oh no! And he spent the bar too, eliminating the threat. I felt like if he'd thrown out an orb, used the reflect to kind of slowly inch his way towards him, that would have been it. Oh my god!
Like cover the approach. You know, watch my six. But just didn't have enough crits. That would have been it right there. Now you're letting Nemo come back like this. You're letting Nemo fight back. You're letting him swing back. This, you better hope that's not data you just gave to him in terms of how to deal with the matchup, because we do see Nemo acclimating a little bit better and delivering on how he's going to come through in the neutral and a little bit safe. We've still been hit quite a few times in this round start situation, but look at this spacing on the cherry attack. Nice and easy with it.
Oh, that was so sick. I'm still stuck in that last game with that crazy mix off of the mummy tree. James out of there. Yes, chase down the view reversal. This is kind of tough, though. Okay, there we go. Stopping the orb before it even gets to him. I love it. Now Nemo gets the reset. No, he just goes for the stun. The roundhouse. Crouching heavy punch. A finisher. More than enough. Big transition here for Nemo.
Imagine you lose after having that moment, after having that element of victory right there, right in front of your face. Nemo coming through with the X, and I like this. Nemo just to get back the momentum. Not 100% sure if Sako's, like kind of, shook from that, but I can tell that Nemo definitely is like feeling a lot more confident in his play. He's like, all right, you gave me a chance. You should have double tapped. You should have finished the job.
Oh no, without a doubt. Look at how much more active he is in pushing Sakunoko into this corner. A lot of great life adding up. A decent amount of damage too. Again, the big counter hit. This could actually spell death off of this mix. He missed the booty! Oh no.
Sends it right back at him. Careful of the orbs.
This could be huge. If Sakunoko lands a single hit, it's over. A single clean hit into the full sequence, it's over.
Nemo though does have B-Trick on the side of his in his repertoire. He can finish this off too. Needs to find a finish. Either person. Sako has full bar this time. Will he use it to stay alive? EX activation time.
You got it.
Off the backboard, Nemo gonna seal it over Sako.
He had 2 extra lights down below, checking the movement against Sakunoko from that far. Even Sakunoko was like, word? You're gonna hit me from that far? This is huge. Look at how much it means to all the members of Team Saishinkan Seoul Kumamoto. They're actually pretty surprised. Yanai, I think the most is like, I can't believe that hit. It's like Christmas morning.
Tokido's face. Was it Nishikin's lucky charm that did this? Did he grace them with the luck to survive Sako and his onside and that super that didn't seal it? Dang. So the sun is shining on Team Seoul as they take it in a 3-1 victory. Vicious. That's heartbreaking. That is heartbreaking.
I don't know, man. I think that was well fought from both sides. I mean, like that last instance in game number 4, it could have been towards Sako. I will say he had a tough hill to climb when it came to closing the gap against Nemo. He did have the life lead. There could have been an instant where he could have just forced Nemo to come to him and just try to reflect everything and throw out orb. Granted, it's a lot harder than it sounds, but let's take a look at the statistics. 10 out of 12 anti-airs. coming in from Sakonoko. 100% 1-for-1 from Nemo. Not too bad, not too shabby at all. 2 out of 3 finding the mark with EX headbutts. Not bad at all as well, which led to a ton of success for Nemo. I gotta say, man, we gotta get to these replays because there were so many crazy instances of back and forth action from both. I think this is the closest we've seen a set in the entirety of Street Fighter League. It went down to the last game, last round, majority of the time, I feel.
I was watching from the stands with the rest of y'all, and it definitely was a slugfest all the way through. Yanai, man, just the way that he plays this G gives me a lot of, I guess what the best way to put it is like a lot of hope for the character. I feel like a lot of people have, again, left that character, but things like this, that jump light, that defense on the deck in these moments to put himself in the offense are what separate like a good G player from a bad one. And usually the break like that too as well. Didn't get the 4 medium right there. The trade, Yanai reeling back in his chair.
Yeah, again, the character's still pretty good. I just feel like, there's I feel like there's a lot more hope coming in from the younger generation, more so than the character. I just feel like them really thinking outside the box and also finding the discipline to play the way they're playing has been phenomenal. I think it takes a lot of discipline for a cat like him to play that the way he plays G.
And we're talking about the younger generation, like exploring the characters and stuff like that. You also gotta look at Shudo. Even though he didn't win, I like the implementation of V-Trigger 2 to show us something different with the character, using a lot of the V-reversals to get the gray life on the deck and also push Bonchan in the corner. But damn, Bonchan's reads though. He was a Liberian, my friend. See that DP against the Aegis? This sequence right here, pretty tight. Shudo was something different with the V-Trigger again. Aegis was overrated, but Bonchan again came correct with the anti-airs, came through with the king. Always love seeing Sagat come through on the screen.
I will say I was very impressed also with Shuto and his exhibition towards his offense, going and pushing Bonchan into the corner more often than not. Problem is, Sagat is more than willing to sit in his corner and play it out. Look at that. Bonchan utilizing the walk speed and the important pop-off towards the end, showing that competitive spirit. This was the matchup, though. This is easily the marquee matchup.
Talk about momentum in games, like where you see something, you see a moment where maybe someone doesn't confirm something or they drop something or whatever, or you take that victory at the very precipice. You take that momentum with you. If you're on that side where you're about to lose, you ride with it. This is a match that will show you that, especially as Nemo went the final game to take down Sako and just rush him down. Everything went perfect for him. The way he should have played was, in that last game, but it takes time, right, to understand how do I fight against someone like Sako who's been switching things up, will chase down my V shifts. We didn't see a V shift from him until then, and Sako hit him with the jumper.
Man, that was all it took to offer this reset. This very, very last moment where Sakonoko, he could have just played the lively game a little bit, but still a little impatient. He ran into the fireball, throwing the orb out. That was just unfortunate. I really wish they highlighted the mix that Sakonoko did with the mummy drill, because that was actually insane. It looked like he was going to stay in front, ended up behind Urien, and got the orb to connect. That highlight would have been so sick to see. But as you saw with Nemo, checking with the light kick so far away, getting a full conversion, there's no wonder he calls himself the Violent Emperor. He makes sure to keep you oppressed with all the offense possible. This man is ever so impressive.
And again, they're talking to the away team. I really hope they talk about Nishikin's charm, because that came through in the clutch. But also, I like the fact that they, again, put up the right team members. I feel like Nishikin, as the results that we had saw previously with him and his character, he might need some time to work things out, work out the kinks with his character, and really flesh out the match with Blanca. Maybe we'll come back and see him a little later. But Team Soul shining out here. We're gonna get some information about them. I am so happy again to see Yanai, just in general. I'm also really happy to see Nemo be able to have another victory. I mean, you can tell he's really feeling it. Nemo saying he's very relieved from that comeback, right? He's feeling very great. He's feeling fantastic. I would too.
Elaborate a little bit for me. When you talk about being excited to see Yanai, what was it about his gameplay for you that kind of stuck out? What was it about it that kind of made you really excited to see it? Because again, you were talking about it like between Nemo and Yanai, you were happy to see it. Like, what was it about Yanai in particular?
So you're not using the fuzzy, the light in the V skill, like being able to utilize that in moments where you typically would see it as like a closer. Like people are caught up in the corner, use it like as a finisher, like those fuzzies. You use that as a finisher. He would use that mid-screen. He would rely upon that. That works on tall characters, obviously, all that good stuff like that. But the fact that he used it mid-screen and doesn't wait until like it's like a stun situation shows me that he's really loud about these situations and understands how important it is to not only get V-bar going, but to implement something different in the neutral. And again, doing something different with G takes a lot of work this season. You can't just pick up the character and rock with it. I just like seeing the G play from a footsie standpoint. And that's what Yanai encompasses. This is the travel promotion for the Kumamoto Prefecture, featuring Nemo and Shuto of Team Saishunkan Seoul Kumamoto. And we're gonna see it right here. Man, oh man, that looks sick. I hope there's some sort of video to showcase, Nemo out there running rough on the rapids right here. That would be tight. That's
actually pretty godlike. Yeah, so again, it is the travel promotion to pretty much encourage travel within Japan. Again, we've seen how they do out in the field Street Fighter V, but out in the real world, I would love to see that as well. We need to get the link to that. But of course, if you enjoy yourself some Street Fighter V, it's a great time to hop in with Champion Edition with the release of Luke coming this month, where you get the full DLC as well in December. If you guys are looking to check it out, be sure to, on Steam, on PlayStation 4 as well, to pick up a copy of Street Fighter V Champion Edition. Or if you want to wait to get everything that's included, you can also pick it up. December 9th is when you can pick up the complete edition for Street Fighter V.
Really no better time to jump in right now. Have everything in one package. And y'all have seen a lot of the characters coming through, so if you need the tips, you just come back to Street Fighter League Japan, watch the VODs, hit back, and like, oh, how do I play Yurine? Y'all can check the back matches. But also, you guys and gals can pick up the BCRF Breast Cancer Research Foundation costumes for Ryu and Chun-Li to give back. All of the proceeds go to the Breast Cancer Research Foundation. $25,000 minimum paid out by Capcom already. So shouts to them for putting that on, and shouts for everybody that has bought these costumes.
100% of the proceeds coming in. I said 1,000% because I do want to enforce how important it is. But again, 100% of the proceeds going towards BCRF for every purchase towards a DLC. Again, they also have links on their Tiltify to contribute even further. But you guys also have been doing so well throughout the entire month of October going into November. We could keep on doing it together with the BCRF as we have until November 13th. We do appreciate you guys for all the love and support. But again, we're getting into the next set of matches very, very soon. We just saw pretty much the run back between V6 plus FAV Roto Z as well as Sai Shunkan Seoul Kumamoto, as we can expect for the rest of the season, right? This is the moment where we get all the runbacks in the second half of the round robin. When we return after this short break, we're going to see another run back between Nagoya Oja Body Stars in the home position versus Komufa Detonation in the away position. It's going to be pretty interesting to see because there's a lot on the line for a handful of these players, right? Komufa Detonation, as St. Cola said earlier, they've been kind of stuck at a standstill down at the bottom. Nagoya Oja Body Stars started off pretty rough, but are slowly climbing their way into the top 5. So again, St. Cola and I will see you on the other end of this break when we return with more Street Fighter League Pro-JP 2021. I can guarantee you we'll have a very, very exciting match and the run back. You don't want to miss it. We're going to see who's going to climb their way closer and closer to the 5th place for those playoffs after this break.
皆さんこんにちは。ストリートファイター5プロデューサーの松本です。ご存知の方もたくさんいらっしゃると思いますが、毎年10月は乳がん啓発月間です。それを支援するためについ先日ストリートファイター5からチュンリーとリュウのチャリティーコスチュームをリリースいたしました。これらのチャリティーコスチュームの販売収益はすべて乳がん研究基金 BCRF さんに寄付いたします。すでにたくさんの方にコスチュームの購入であったりウェブサイトの募金を通じてこのプロジェクトをサポートしていただいております。この場を借りてお礼申し上げます。皆様のサポート本当にありがとうございます。BCRF は乳がんおよび転移性乳がんに関する世界最大の独立非営利団体で、今年は14カ国の主要な医療機関や学術機関に所属する約250名の科学者の研究に資金を提供しています。今後乳がんの研究のために我々のなりの形で協力できることをすごく光栄に思っています。チュンリーとリュウの BCRF チャリティーコスチュームはセットまた単品での購入が可能です。販売期間は11月13日までとなっております。 BCRF コスチュームの購入以外にも直接寄付をご希望の方はこちらの URL からアクセスしてください。乳がんは世界中の女性に最も多いがんであることから BCRF の取り組みの重要性をより多くの皆さんに知ってもらえたらと思っています。我々ストリートファイターチーム一同は BCRF の活動に貢献して寄付をしてくださったコミュニティの皆さんに深く感謝しています。BCRF の使命は乳がん撲滅のために世界で最も有望な研究を推進することです。BCRF についての詳しい情報は BCRF の公式サイトをご覧ください。ではお体に気をつけてまたお会いいたしましょう。
それではマッチ2アウェー側選手
Welcome back to Street Fighter League Japan. We are getting right into it with Team Detonation on the away side with a sturdy breadwinner himself, Itabashi Zangief, standing at the charge. Then we have the incoming Sakura, Nauman. Man, oh man, that's the Evo champion. Right behind is going to be the Prince of Light himself, Johnny Tech right there. And then rounding everything down is the returning monk, John Takeuchi. People, my name is Saquon Vicious, and we're here to give you the Street Fighter League Japan restream. How you doing, brother?
The official English broadcast, my man. You know, we got to put some up into it. We got to make sure the people at home understand that this is official when it comes to Street Fighter League Japan. And speaking of official, we got ourselves the box. Nagoya Ultra Bodies are coming in with the fast as lightning Akira with the ever impressive Cammy coming in with one of the young guns, the youngest explosion through the waves of Oniki in that Dictator. Coming up next, the Master of Movement, also the Master of Vampires, MOV himself, rocking with that Chun-Li, and of course, the man, Dogura, the Devil of Victory, who knows how to play the lane game with Dictator and control the pace that he does. This is going to be an ever important match for these guys right here. Nagoya Ultra Body Stars and Cobalt Detonation are scrapping to keep themselves in the top 5 position. Detonation Gaming at the very bottom right now, but Nagoya Ultra Body Stars have also been in that position and have slowly climbed their way into it. Now, looking at the scores from the top left, the way it went down, it was tied up 2-2. Nagoya Ultra Body Stars actually clutched it out with a tie because of Dogura. My man has been able to clutch it out time in and time out. But what I want to know is what's going to happen with MOV. He has yet to put a W on the board.
That's right, man. Oh man, it's time for him to shine. I need to see MOV not be MO free, as you know, people have been chatting about, but it's not been easy for him. This is, you got the stack competitors out here in Street Fighter League, and it looks like we're going to have the Ken pick off the bat. Ain't no way we're gonna be seeing some Ken in play, but it looks like we're gonna have on the side of Detonation. Ken, Cody, and Geef. What do you do here? What's your move? I wonder if they're even expecting this.
I mean, expecting it or not, they already have the information ahead of them because of the fact that they're the away team. The home team now gets to really control whatever it is they want based off of this information. Nauman with the Ken, I haven't seen this on CFN, no bars intended, but we've seen it like a handful of times. I haven't seen it recently, but overall, I think Nauman with the Ken pick, when looking at the composition against Nagoya Ojo Body Stars, we're looking at what? Kami, 2 Dictators, and a Chun-Li. I don't know. I think that's going to be... I don't think it's going to be too much of a bad time. I'm going to say, this version of Ken, I don't think it's going to be too much of a bad time. But Dogura and the team of Nagoya Ojo Body Stars, they say that they were expecting the Ken. They've done a lot more research than I definitely have, that's for sure. Saying that they are smart too. We've got ourselves prepared for this. In fact, we're going to send out our Top Gun. We're going to put Akira up first. And all the while putting Oniki on the bench for this matchup today, which means that Dogura and MOV are going to be waiting in the rafters, looking towards this young man and seeing if he can bring home the first W.
That means, again, like you just said, MOV coming up. I can't wait to see where he's going to be placed out. But for right now, it's going to be the Ken versus Cammy pick right here. I haven't personally seen Nauman ever use this character. I've seen him use Laura before, kind of, dabbling in that sort of robbery. Let's see if he can bring a little bit of the heat to this, to Akira, because Akira has already been on fire, already putting the flames of people like Tokido, cooking many teams out here. Just hard to read, hard to deal with, compared to other Cammy players. Just ways of the rhythm that is just in a far different genre, right? Not even a different song, it's a different genre. So, in the first 2 situation also might be kind of difficult to deal with too. It's going to be harder to get those reads. You only have so many games to play. But now I do wonder how much they knew that Nauman's going to send out the Ken. They were prepared. How much they know about his Ken, his difference. And it says that, Akira's saying that he loses to Nauman in everything besides video games, so he wants to at least win over Nauman in video games. And that's probably just Akira trying to be humble.
Get that. I can totally get that. But the last time they actually played each other, Akira actually suffered the first loss with that Cammy. I think one of the first of few, if I'm not mistaken. When looking at Akira's overall record, he's played a handful of times. But only a few have been able to defeat him. Just the other day, he was able to take down a legendary player with Tokido in a very convincing manner, 3-0. So I'm actually interested to see what he has in store for today's performances as we get ourselves ready for it. We do have the trivia going in for the home team. I'd imagine it's a very similar question as to what they feel, or like how they feel about, certain situations, not certain situations, excuse me. The question was pretty much, what are they lucky, what are they fortunate for? I don't know if it's going to be the same thing or not. Okay, so it is going to be the same topic. What are you guys, what is a lucky thing for you guys? Dogura pretty much says that getting to be a pro gamer is a very, very fortunate and lucky thing for him, which I get. We kind of shared that sentiment a little bit earlier in the previous set as well. MOV pretty much feels lucky to be living in an era that he can play so many fighting games. That's very true. Also very similar with Sakonoko.
I like that approach. Like, a lot of people, don't realize that this is kind of a golden age. You get to play dang near every single game. They're very accessible on all different platforms and things like that. All the different Street Fighters you're able to play with a variety of people, whether it be at the arcades or at home and stuff like that. We live in an era where it's a lot less difficult to get that combat going. We're able to travel and fight people around the world or play people around your regions and things like that. So Aniki also saying that because of online classes, he's been able to retake some of the classes. He's improved in grades too. So being online has also, in a different way at least, instead of just fighting games, being online for classes has allowed him to up his grades too. So he's thankful for that.
Man, it's tough. I'm not gonna lie, man. Doing the whole online course thing, more props to Oniki for being able to do that. It's so difficult when it's not as engaging, because trying to be in school and trying to stay focused is a whole different thing than being able to do this at home. Because if I'm at home, I have all my tabs open, I'm watching YouTube and Twitch, I'm looking at Street Fighter matches the whole time. Nah, ain't no Netflix here. I'm watching Street Fighter games the whole time. Or I'm playing Street Fighter 5 while listening to lectures. Like, come on, man, that's tough. I've done it. I'm speaking from experience, man.
Also need to stay focused and keep those grades up. And let's see if we can keep up in this match. Akira versus Nauman's Ken. I wonder if this is like a world premiere. Because I haven't seen this, at least in like maybe like a tournament setting, and at least in a league setting, maybe in the CFN somewhere hidden away in some of those matches. He's done some work or has maybe a Heidi account. Let's see if it works out here against Akira. DP with the round start, or get the knockdown, the dash up throw. Looking clean already.
Yeah, I mean, Ken has been used by Nauman a handful of times throughout the year, actually, since the changes, right? I mean, like, it's not a brand new thing. It's just a matter of like how often has he been playing this character in the midst of Street Fighter League is the question. We've seen this character before,
right,
and so far it's doing work against Akira. But it's only, you know, he was blocking with his face a little bit, but it's only because he wanted to get the speed trigger sooner. Oh, that's all she did.
Nice
That's pretty much nice and easy. Getting those lights into that confirm. Now I'm off to a very, very confident start.
Does it again, round start with it, already find the confirm, and that corner push, this is where Ken makes his money. Put up in the corner, he has some of the best pressure in the business. I like Akira though, in reverse, spinning that V reversal, get some distance, side switch. It had to have been the Tatsu right there, and Akira ready with the DP, and puts him right back to square one.
Oh, I like the interruption there. Nauman tried to go for something sneaky, but still manages to get the full confirm into critical art because of a mishap from Akira. And you can tell Akira is stressed out about it. That was not what was intended for the young man. And Nauman actually taking it nice and easy. He's like, all right, so far, easy mission, 2 rounds straight.
Real confident in his play, real confident in his confirms. And that's what you have to have. Also, I feel like that B skill too, like, kind of came into play at the end. And Akira maybe a little bit befuddled at the decision right there, but taking some time to think about it, to say, okay, you got a Ken, you got the confirms. And if you're a Sakura player, you already are, you know, about confirms. You're already about the light confirms, the crouch kick confirms, and things like that with this character. Transitions well, real good to Ken, except you get a lot more corner push off your situations, especially off that back throw. That's damn near half the screen you get off a back throw situation. You put him in the corner and you run your pressure. So similar aspects of those characters are there.
I could see that, but I think the light kick isn't as prevalent as it is with Ken. I think, you know, with Sakura's hitbox is a lot further out, and being able to buffer that normal because of it and how active it is, I think it's slightly different. But, I mean, with Ken, I feel like even getting an uppercut, it doesn't lead to the same kind of situation. It doesn't lead to the kind of Oki afterwards. But damn, Akira swinging for the fences already. But yeah, now I've been playing a different kind of strategy, getting more of the low forward pokes and the stand medium pokes getting involved in neutral a lot more than the lights.
The crush though, finds the V-trigger activation, gonna spin all that bar just to get back to mid-screen. Not a bad choice, and there's that back throw, I told y'all.
Oh boy, nice. On the way down, stopping
a version of the dive kick.
I like it. You know, now we're backing off as well. Stand short, kind of check. Cammy, not as easy to get the confirm, but here we go. This isn't going to kill, but it's going to lead to a very important open situation. It's going to be the dash up twice over. No, it's going to be the safe jump.
No!
Out of there. What? I can't believe it. It would have been sick if he did the air throw, but you know, beggars can't be choosers. He wanted to get the back throw for the meter. If it was air throw, it would have been really funny.
Here now up, around, starting to understand the tendencies. Runs the fist, the face right there with the fears. This time ends it with the DP. Stun is building. Didn't find the confirmed inconsistency. Too far out for that V-trigger to reach. This one will though, off the fireball.
Half the amount of damage. Is he gonna go for the throw? No, he tried to go for a bait. I like that use of the meter. I mean, that's gonna be a lot of damage, but what's gonna follow suit after for Nauman is the question. Yeah, he only gets a crouching medium punch after that dash up. It's not gonna be as much, right? Even if he got hit, even if Akira got hit, like what would happen afterwards? I don't think there would have been enough to kill. So utilizing that critical art in that very moment is so tough.
Yeah, well, that damage differential. There's a life buffer right there. Super. That should seal it. Just woke up with violence. Eyes weren't even open. Cross wasn't even out of the eyes. Immediately with the super. And Akira, again, hard to read this guy.
And he even felt the same way. He's like, I can't believe that actually worked. He had this look on his face. It's like, you know, it's I'm very lucky and grateful today to have critical art on Wake Up. I'm very lucky to have a very blessed and privileged character like Cammy.
Round 1.
But no, I mean, it could have been a guess for game. Nauman, it's part of the game, right? You gotta be aware. That was a great weapon.
Finish off the target combo. I like to chase off the mediums right here. He's like poking with the medium to kind of start that to see what Nauman's gonna do, and then get the crouching kick right after too. Now he's got him caught up in the corner. Now we gotta be careful with these fireballs, but just runs the fierce. Sledgehammer and the throw. And the camera pressure, you gotta check this and find a way out.
Oh, absolutely going for the trigger activation after that. Spending it early too. He's gonna have more than enough life to build it back up. And this is the Akira we're very used to seeing. The oppression session in the corner. Absolutely relentless. Okay. I like that from Nauman. Uppercut into the trigger activation as well.
Good challenge. Doesn't he need just needs one bar? No, just a Tatsu actually to seal it.
Need anything, yeah.
Forgot you just do, yeah, nice and easy. Get to save that bar on game point, on set point, I should say.
Ooh, what a counter pull. Crouching medium punch EX Tatsu. I like that from Nauman. Doing it again, yes, crouching medium punch. That is definitely the tool. It's so active as well as a very, very large hitbox. That's Sir, the delay, the link into the uppercut, but still Akira, the patented wake up EX dive kick. Oh, not like this.
Looking too good, EXTP. Finisher. Caught him reaching.
Oh,
the stun. Wake up EXTP finally finds that Mark Nauman.
Tough.
Let's find one touch.
Akira can't afford any mistakes. He's also within range. Okay. You thought you could get away with the hooligan combination and Nauman
Can win.
popping off. Now he gets to say, not only is he better than everything, or like, not only is it just video games, but it's everything as well, in terms of what Akira said earlier in regards to Nauman being better than him at everything. I know he was just trying to be humble, but man, that statement didn't work out too well for the young man. That's really unfortunate. He tried to go for the hooligan combination. I don't know. Nauman was ready for it with the crouching heavy punch. Fell just a little short.
That's gotta hurt. You know, not fully prepared for that pick, and that EXTP finally found the mark. Man, oh man, Nauman's kin. That's some serious business right there. You see how look at it. He feels so confident after that victory. The 2-1 right there, 1 point inside of detonation, coming through nice and easy. Let's just say easy. 100% on the side of Akira though, in terms of reversals and invincibles. Anti-airs, I'm sorry, and invincible reversals. 3 to 5 right there for 60% on Nauman's side, and then 100% on the X side of things.
So we see the 100% statistic there coming in from Akira, but still fell just a little bit short. Nauman with 100% of his own in terms of invincible reversals. Not too bad there. 3 out of 5 in the anti-air department as well, but Nauman coming up as the victor, which is absolutely imperative for Camouflage Detonation. They need as many points as possible, considering the fact that they're in the very bottom of the ranking, I believe, as it stands right now in the second half of Street Fighter League Pro Japan. I want to know who's coming up next. Cody is going to be what's in store for John Takeuchi and Camouflage Detonation, but who is Nagoya Oja Body Stars going to send up next?
I feel like Chun-Li can still do work against the character. Her footsie game probably better than Cody's overall. But the Bison pick can also work just as well. At least you don't have to worry about the tornado fireball shots and things like that. And again, the neutral game good for Bison, but the damage that Cody can dump out may not even matter. It may not even matter for the other side of what character they pick. If Cody could go, as we saw before, even the Rashid matchup, dump out enough damage, get the job done. So I still wonder who they're going to send up. Who's got the most experience against Cody? Who's the most confident? Not much discussion going on. I think they're just heavy in thought right now. Like, should they send up MOV? Actually, looks like MOV is coming up to the plate. Dogra trying to lighten up the move.
There's never any sort of deep discussion when it comes to the team and the way that they kind of love to show out their characters. They're very much so goofballs, I will be quite honest. But when it comes to the actual gameplay, they are one of the best in the business. I still remember MOV playing Alpha 2 and Third Strike over at Genjin Arcade the first time we got to meet him, and that was back in like 2009. This guy could definitely put on some work with any sort of Street Fighter game, any sort of Capcom game in general. Again, he's called Master of Vampires for a very specific reason. That one I'll let you guys Google on your own. But we're going to go into it, right? MLV still not getting the W's that he's been looking for, but a lot of his matches, I will say, have been extremely close and also very emotional for him because of the fact that he just let it slip out of his hands. We have to see MLV kick it into high gear. We have to see him be the clutch player that he can be. He has the potential to do so. Can he do it against someone like John Takeuchi and this Cody?
If there's a time, it's got to be now. We said that so many times before. That Fudo loss was probably one of the most heartbreaking ones that we've seen in Street Fighter League Japan. Missing that confirm, not really missing the confirm, the V shift, getting Fudo out of danger and allowing MLV yet another loss on his side. But this could be the day. This could be it right here. We're going to see what the Team Detonation is saying. We have the wave trivia coming up again, asking them what they're probably what they're thankful for, what they find lucky in life. Gonna have that coming up real soon. But again, MLV definitely has to shine out here. All eyes are on him, especially today. Tachikawa just celebrated his birthday recently. Yo, happy birthday, Tachikawa. Yo, give some love to Tachikawa on his Twitter and things like that. Show him some love. Same birthday as Fudo, actually. So the same one as Fudo. It's kind of wild.
Hey, it happens, man. That's pretty cool. Fudo and Tachikawa having the same exact birthday. Happy belated to them both. Very grateful to see them in Street Fighter League. Tachikawa with his first appearance. Fudo making back-to-back appearances, right? But nonetheless, these guys have been putting on for a lot of fighting games throughout their history in the FGC. So we're extremely grateful for that. And Hamiko also having a time of their lives up there. I wish we could join them sooner or later. And Tachikawa, he's mentioned this before. He just wishes to graduate from university. He just wants to make it happen. And I know Itabashi was like, well, you better hurry up so you can, get this pro gaming thing going for yourself. And for Itazan, he feels very fortunate to have avoided bird poop a few days ago, actually. That's actually what he said in his interview. He's felt quite lucky to avoid that mishap. I'd imagine so, yes. That was very, very cool of Itazan to avoid that, and I'm glad he shared that piece of information. Feeling quite lucky for himself. Nice work, Itazan.
Good stuff, Itazan. Did you just dodge? You saw it, you just dodged it? Is it, if that's the case, with some Matrix stuff, that's it. It literally dropped in front of him. So, take that as a sign. That might be, a good sign for your team that you're lucky out here. But we'll see. Itazan going to come up a little bit later. Right now, it's John T versus MOV. Man, oh man. MOV, you know he's hungry for this victory. You know he's super hungry. But John T has put in so much work with this Cody that it damn near looks like the Rashid was just a fling. It was just there for, just for a night, and that was it. It's all about the Cody pick. That's what we've seen mainly in Street Fighter League Japan.
Damn, this outfit is always sick to me. I don't know why, but it's so sick. But anyways, here we go. John Takeuchi is Cody. MLV as the very sunburnt Chun-Li. We'll see how it plays out. It's summertime. She's got the sunblock.
The Jersey Shore.
The Jersey Shore, yes.
The sweep off the feet from John T. Finds a crush. The back throw, though. Put some distance on him. Try to get that meaty fireball, cover that approach. In the fierce.
I still can't believe he missed that opportunity off the jump in, but either way, John Takeuchi now with the potential robbery factor. MLB checking the movement low for, but now getting a full-on meaty into the full conversion. Forward throw. Can he close it out? Can he actually? Oh no, not like this.
Yeah, don't get robbed. Stay solid. The sequence, just that one tap, one fierce, just like that. One crouching light will also do it too. If you just want to get hit by any of these logs, any of the extended pipe range, and nice and easy with the lane. Crouching the kick will do it. MOV with the pokes. Stay solid.
EX legs as the opener. MOV again going for forward medium punch. Most of the time if it's counter hit, he can link EX legs. As to what we just saw now, maybe he just wanted to do it. Back-to-back fierce is snapping in the face of John Takeuchi. Does get the forward roundhouse into the sway as well for the simulation.
Kick, yeah, have to go for the break. That was Oki. Immediate V reversal on the EX Zonk. Get some distance and some great life, but still closer caught in the corner. The buffer up the Pierce into the EX and puts the medium roughing in on him. Activation time. They're caught up in the corner.
On the spine. Watch out for the mix. Oh, that is dirty. You know, you could avoid Bird Poop. Can you avoid rocks for Metro City's main? I doubt it. Udazan, you know, might have to teach MOV a thing or two about ducking things from the sky.
One hits a lot harder. EX onto the plus race. John T trying to find some solidity and had a buffer behind the medium. These buffers are coming through a lot more for him. He'll be forced to go for the V shit, run those mediums. But again, that corner push is looking real good for John T. He's on the verge of popping V trigger.
Oh, that's gonna be great. So what's important about this is he gets very minimal damage scaling, so the damage is gonna be pretty decent, but now he gets OKTV skills or just jumps for the safe jump as well.
And the lead can all go away. Quick dumps out damage, deals out damage. Little ruffian reset. Sets up shop. Overhead connects, catches the V-ship, and gets got. Yo, what a sequence. Even MOV is like, yo, word? You different like that, John T? That was dirty.
That rock had a homing device on whatever cellular device she had on her. There was something about it. He threw up the rock and it still found the mark from way downtown. I feel kind of bad for MOV. He also had that situation where he could have had it under control, but it just slipped through his fingers yet again.
Now, John on game point, sweep up the feet, does it raw. Max distance too. We haven't seen MOV whip punish some of these normals, so I feel like he's very content to throw out some of these buttons and that roughly max distance, knowing that there's not going to be an interruption or full punish.
Like that from John Takeuchi now, forcing MOV to the corner. Already the throw bait is there, and now he's picking it up with the throw. If he gets one more, he might get a stun, but instead gets the meaty MOV in dire straits yet again in full control. John Takeuchi looking at match point. Very convincing play.
You see how he put the coat back on too? I feel like he's already ready to go. Make this quick and easy. The way that John T is playing definitely is making it difficult for MOV to even poke, and the corner positioning has been great too. You can see a similar sequence that we saw before.
Back-to-back throw.
Just running the
The
throw
third
game.
time he's dead. Oh, same time to V-reversal for MOV, but he's stuck in this corner, finding the snap on the Fierce. V-reversal now. John Takeuchi could actually finish it with the throw. Important tech for MOV. Checking for the lows, but no, we got to see the trigger activation possibly. No, the jump in instead. MOV falls short yet again for Nagoya Oja Body Stars. John Takeuchi solidifying another point for their team. That is actually rough. That is so smart for John Takeuchi to understand that MOV opts to go for the Fierce a lot. You kind of treat it like a fireball because of how much recovery frames is on it. So if he gets the jump in, if he predicts correctly, he's going to get a fat punish.
And her anti-situation isn't too good to see, so with the lights being off the deck, so you have to get somewhat predictive with the back heavy kick to really find the right range. But man, oh man, that's the unfortunate thing, is like you're so focused on the ground game, you don't watch the skies. And incoming was Cody with the jump in for that win. John T with the victory. MOV is feeling it.
It's more so of him committing to the normals. It's not even about like looking towards the skies, right? It's not like he wasn't stationary looking for an anti-air. He already committed to the Fierce, and it was on John Takeuchi making that read. It wasn't in fact that like he missed an anti-air. No, that wasn't it at all. It was just the fact that he was committing to buttons to get himself out of the corner. More so because he got punished for it. It wasn't, it's not even about like the anti-airs. It's just him making the right reads as John Takeuchi, and understanding that MOV has certain tendencies in the corner on defense.
Now MOV just again with another loss. Unfortunate. Can we have something on this side of this team? I feel like, you know, they're a little bit shocked. MOV also like shocked that he, you know, got that loss, really feeling it. But also, you know, Akira also kind of shocked that situation too. Look at them. They're looking a little down. It's up to Dogura to lift their spirits and lift up these points and at least try to earn that draw.
So the last time they played against Camouflage Detonation, this was the exact same order for Nagoya Oja Body Stars. Akira went first, fell a little short in a very similar fashion. He got 1 W and lost 2. MOV, very similar fashion as well, 2 games straight. And now it's a whole different demeanor for Dogura. Can he actually touch it out for a... What is this, man? He is sniffing. He is digging deep there. This shot could be so much, man. Not gonna lie. Dogura managed to get a W in their first encounter, right? We talked about the tie being 2-2. He faced off against Nauman Stalker in a very, very close match. Now it's gonna be a matter of dictating the pace against someone who has no regard for anybody's game plan, and that is Itazan. It's going to be very interesting to see how the reads play off, because Itazan he's a reading monster. He understands so many player tendencies, and he adapts so quickly to them, which makes him a very spectacular Zangief, a very consistent one at that. So I'm very interested to see if we could see the same kind of results for Nagoya Ultra Body Stars, or will we see a full sweep for the first time for Team Camouflage Detonation?
Not too fun on the side of Dictator to fight the big boy that is Gief. You don't get to run your same pressure game plan because of the flex that comes through and starts the EXSBD sequences, that starts the Oki, that starts into you at the casino, losing money. So if you're Dogura, you're using a lot of the standing fears instead of down 4 fears, and you're hoping that you have the right range to not get got. It's a real patient match. He's got to be super careful. But as you said, Itazan's got them reads. This is going to be very difficult either way.
Dogura also has been playing that kind of similar fashion, or that kind of playstyle that you just iterated, right? Dogura is willing to play the timer in majority of his matches. Sit down for a while. You hope you guys have some refreshments and snacks, because this is going to be going down to the wire unless Itazan has something to say about it. You talk about that V-skill usage. My man, Dogura, 100% on the range. Ooh, and the fierce for the whip punish.
It's on the table. Daring him to use that button. Trying to find a punish every single time. That one, not so well, but still in and outside that fierce range. Not daring to use down 4 fierce just yet. Split that in every so often, I bet, but just not so much, and here it goes. EXSBD down to the ground.
And that was so slick, too. You talked about the V-Skill 1 usage from Zangief. He actually caught Dogura using Stand Light into Psycho Blast and actually absorbed the blast, which got him his first SPD.
Yes, I'm willing to walk him down. But it's nice and patient. Yeah, hard knockdown right there. Got V-Trigger on the deck, but do you want to save that to save yourself, for this character, they come through? You want to save that for V-Ship. Nice and easy with the punishes and the fierce, the patience from Dogura to let Itazan put out those buttons and hang himself. Been fantastic, but that's only 1 round.
Starter there for Itazan, slowly pushing Dogura into the corner and opting not to get whiffed this time. Instead, he's the one doing all the whiff punishing.
More active. Crushing kick in the scissors, but caught those hands.
I can't believe it was that far. Oh no, not like this. See, now Dogura can't actually run his game strategy as effectively, right? Being at the life deficit, he has to commit to certain things now. And the tick throw, EXSPD, you get the Oki situation as Itazan, but still out of danger.
Jab check, keep him locked down on the ground. Does have the command grab on the side of Dogura, but you don't want to get that close. So you enact that game plan, you're risking it all, and you may fall. Itazan now the one just willing to let him come to him to get that victory. V-reversal, get that distance. V-trigger not necessary for that win. All you need is that crouching light, the medium, or just a jump in.
Final round.
I like that a lot from Itazan. Man, it's already gone down to like what? How much time from both rounds? You guys are definitely willing to play the long con. But here comes Dogura now. You saw the reversal from the side of Itazan. He actually got thrown out of it. Oh my god, the Porsche Dynamite from so far.
Nice interruption though. No headbutt for plus frames. But now you're back against the wall. You have to find a way out. You don't want to let Itazan walk you down. Bison with his back against the wall. Dangerous. Like the EX plus frames. Fierce activation. B-shift. The chase down the hop pursuit. That's on the B-trigger.
Oh. Watch out for the stun. Very important tech there, but still he walks up into danger. He is the danger. He is the one that knocks. and gets the SPD against Dogura. If it didn't stun, it was definitely going to kill regardless. That was so sick. Coming from Itazan, my man walked him down. He's like, you are not stopping me. Not today.
See Dogura kind of feeling a little bit, you know, when your back is against the wall as Bison, not feeling too great. You want to have the room to be able to walk back and adjust your spacing, but also not lose your spacing too as well. That around that fierce range is absolutely perfect. But we've seen Dogura deal with it as soon as I say that. Dogura find and confirm and a crush on the wake of Itazan. Going up that V-bar, that's going to be super important, again, to be able to use V-shift and V-break if necessary. But land those arms. Here we go. Oh, the late rise!
Actually, I love that. Dogura just sitting it out. He's like, you know what? I'm not in a rush to get up. I'm going to just be just fine. I'm going to take another 10-minute nap, press the snooze button. No big deal.
Yeah, those five extra minutes are definitely helpful. So all of these confirms the EX of the corner carry.
You know how much more productive now Dogura is because of hitting the snooze button? Look at him! He's on time for his meetings. He made the PowerPoint and everything. He's got so much productivity now because of that snooze button. This guy getting the first round of game number 2, making sure his company hits the top.
He didn't take the bus, he took a bike to work. He said, I'm on duty today.
Man,
but again,
he's environmentally friendly. This is a whole different Bison. He's about the green now? I appreciate that.
He's about the green. If you don't, you better be about the bag. As many points as possible again to get that draw situation. As many rounds on the board, help your team. And I like that he's trying to get these like early round starts, get the lead, and force Itazan to make some mistakes. Cancels into the inferno, the multi-hits and elite the flex.
I love the ranges he's standing at, right? Using the medium kick as well as the heavy punches to check Itazan and trying to whip punish to see if he's even trying to do that, if that's even the goal, right? And now Dogura, he gets a hint of some of the danger. Itazan has been swinging away and been flexing as well. That would have been crazy. He was well within range of EX SPD, I think.
Clinch. Love to have a crush. Get that feature going. Nice crush me kicking the EX.
Oh, he was mashing away. I saw it on the top right. This guy was churning butter before he even got up.
I don't know why he waited, but the backdoor though works out for Dogura. Doesn't find the punch, will find the plus frames. Inferno. EX comes through Dogura like a sniper.
Yeah, he had it locked and loaded. He was waiting on the rooftops. He's like, you know what? I'm going to wait right here. As soon as he makes a move, bang, gets it. Putting himself tie game 1-1. Very smart decision making there from Dogura. All he had to do was take a little snooze. You know, you got to make sure that you're okay before going into work. Sometimes you got to take those extra minutes, you know, and kind of lie about it. Be like, you know, I was a little late to work. My dog was having a little bit of stomach problems, or my lemon scent wasn't filled up all the way. A little bit of a traffic jam, etc.
Look out dividends. He's got to win. We're all even out. All with the corner carry, again, with that aggression, that fierce has been absolute money. The down 4 fierce is off the table, so you resort to that. And again, you let Itazan come to you, but the crush didn't get the conversion, unfortunate.
Oh, just waiting it out past the flex. Itazan finding a lot of mileage with the heavy punch, too. Scissor kick out, another heavy punch there from Itazan, but still constantly blocked. Dogura just in and out of these ranges so often. Look at that, just dash in, dash out. Tell me what you're all about.
Look at the time that he has to in the crouch mini kick to do it, just poking away, and he could cancel even easier this season because of the buffs to Bison, at least for the crouch mini kick. He's been real good, but the jump-ins are starting to come from Itazan, a little bit froggy to deal with that fierce. If it's out for too long, big jump-in could come through for Itazan and start the SPD game plan that you typically would see in this match.
Now Dogura applying that pressure. Forward throw now again. Itazan stuck in this corner so early, allowing Bison to play with the rest of the screen at his leisure. Is exactly what Dogura wants. And the hell attack, I like it. Covering the air-to-air strategy. Borscht Dynamite Knife finding the mark at all. A big guess from Itazan, and now it's all downhill. I feel like Dogura gets to control the pace even more so with the life lead. on top of having all the real estate behind him.
You have all those pokes from Bison to just finish this off. Oh. As soon as I said that commentator's curse. It's the knockdown. EX SPD. Put the bars on him.
Man, that's so much worse for Zangief. Oh man, I was gonna say that V-trigger activation would have been such a threat, really, if there had not been V-shift around. I think that could have easily been towards the favor of Idizan, but luckily for Dogura, utilizing his bar wisely, knowing full well that he didn't need to close it out with trigger on deck. It was very smart of him. He had the life lead, he had the stage to work with, and he had V reversal just in case, or V shift. He had V gauge overall, right? So that was very smart for him to utilize it the way that he did. He's getting closer and closer to looking at a tie score in this current matchup between the two teams.
I believe all the times that he's won these rounds on Dogura's side, he's not activated. And again, as you said, saving that V-bar for defensive maneuvers and just staying solid in the neutral. Medium kicks, fierce cancels, in the Inferno, dealing with that heavy punch, goading Idizan to run these grip punishable normals so he can get going. And running fist to face right there.
Oh boy. Man, the defense from Dogura, he was sitting there. He was willing to take the SPD, but not this one. That's a heavy. Dash up, no snooze button this time. The alarm is sounding off in Dogura's head. I gotta get up. I gotta get out of here.
Already dressed in the wake. Covers are off. Suit was on. Careful with those scissor kicks. You get too close to Dogura, or too close to Idizan. You can't run the heavy ones because your -2 looks real up close. But the other ones can be punishable. Does find the hell attack. The air-to-air right there.
Just outside of the range, and the whip punish is there, spending the bar this time. One more sequence, actually one more solid hit to work out for him, I think. The standing heavy punch might be the culprit.
Get the medium kick to back you up just in case.
Oh, more
Definitely
so
one
now
touch.
than ever. No anti-airs, jumping successful, at least for getting the EX SPD. Stays down. No V-shift. Instead goes to the jump. There's the V-shift from Dogura. EX for the plus frames and the good conversion. Here we go. What's the guess?
I like this, Vicious. I like this, Vicious. Push back, and yeah, you saw Idizan try to take his turn back, do something. The clock was winding down. But now it's set point. Dogura, he's playing this immaculately. I honestly, as a Bison player sometimes, as people who do play Bison, they struggle in this matchup, he's playing this perfectly.
Yeah, no, without a doubt. I think, utilizing that plus frame scenario, allowing Idizan, or at least forcing Idizan to guess in that situation was so well timed.
The fact that he's goading Idizan to do things too, like goading him to swing out that fierce. Call me a lumberjack. I wish you would. I wish you'd swing out that fierce. Puts on the corner pressure, and already look at him putting Geef in the corner. When do you see this? When you see Bison putting Geef up in the corner like this, Dogura he's got that aura around him.
Oh, that would have been so dangerous if Dogura flinched. But still, swinging away with the fierces. There hasn't been too much from Idizan, right? Now he's not even trying to counterpoke, but he is actually jumping a lot more often. He senses that Dogura hasn't been anti-airing. There's the jumping and finds success. Connected to the critical art, plant the tree real quick, all the way out in space, a lot of damage. What happens afterwards? Trigger on deck.
Spits like on high.
Oh.
Neutral jump, Dogura! So with the reads, toss out the V-shift, or I'm sorry, V-reversal.
No anti-airs again from Dogura. Idizan has to use this right now. He has to utilize that strategy a little bit more often than not. He senses that Dogura is not willing to anti-air because he's so fixated on the ground game.
You could use the V-skill in some situations, but some of these jump-ins have been different, so it's not always, as easy. And if you want to use the crouch fierce, it's a little bit on the predictive side. If you're up close, it may get stuck before it even comes out. I get defensiveness, but you gotta run it sometimes because you're getting got. Caught up in the corner, V-shift with the back throw, the extended range on the throw from this character helps out, but it won't help you when you get sunk down on the ground. EXSPD, run the Oki. V-shift though, the bane of grappler's existence.
It really is, actually, but I don't think Dogura would have enough to build another one. If he does, it'll be a very dire situation for Dogura with pretty much no life left. But Itazan, he's big chilling right now. He doesn't need to take any unnecessary risk. He needs to hang on for 50 seconds. And there we go. This is where we get to see Bison shine. If he forces Itazan on the back burner, oh, it doesn't matter now. Force Dynamite incoming. You already know. Ugh, tied up 2 apiece. There's the smile we were looking for. Itazan slowly starting to put the pieces together. Once he gets the reads, he is going to make sure to take full advantage of it.
And now the stress begins on the side of Dogura as Itazan starts to find these reads. Those jumpers are starting to come hot and heavy. They're starting to become problematic. And if you're not anti-ing this character, you're just allowing him to come through the skies and into your airspace and get in front of your face. And that is what has helped Itazan put the real kind of pressure on. You see the Fierce get stuffed so many times, a whip punish and things like that. Now he's got another way to play. Now it's more for Dogura to think about. And any of these mistakes just open up so much for Geef in this matchup. Allows him to get the Oki on the SPDs, run that pressure, force up the V-shifts. Yes, those are there, but there are OSs in some situations to kind of catch that. And if those get read, you're going to get got.
And we're seeing a very slow pace coming in from both players. Dogura also being able to run the clock and run the normals outside of the ranges Itazan is comfortable playing at. We see how often Dogura has counter-poked Itazan in majority of these matches. But Itazan slowly starting to figure it out. He's starting to change up his timing, use that Fierce sparingly, and has opted to use the chop a little bit more often than not in the counter-poke game. But as the set has developed, it seems like Itazan has opted to jump in way more often towards the end of the set. Now it's going to be the question will be, how will Dogura manage to stop Itazan from working all these strategies put together? Is he still going to focus on the ground game as much? Is he looking to retract some of his normals, or at least hesitantly pull back to check the skies? Who knows?
Just want to have a better round start either way. You know, be able to have that ability to kind of rush this character down, put him in the corner, and not get got, not be on the back foot. We have to make the comeback, because that forces you to approach Geef. That forces you to come through their space with the flex, and that's not what you want to do. So again, him trying to find a way out. Ooh, nice V skill right there to get the distance. Takes back his turn. Now probably from off the fear scissor kick, heavy kick. The flip out good for Itazan, but still caught for the corner. The stun. With the quickness.
Great for Dogura, forward throw yet again, building a lot of meter for himself, enforcing those blocks. He's just making sure to swipe away with that heavy punch to make sure Itazan faces the media anytime he wakes up. Now slowly walking himself out of the corner, trying to be risk averse. Does not want to get whipped or clobbered.
Let's go for anything. I kind of like that. If you're not 100% with it, don't try it. SPD time though. We do, the V bar at the bottom, used by Dogura to stay solid, and the EX scissor kick coming through in the clutch. Dogura on set point.
Round 2.
I like him guaranteeing it by using EX scissor kick because he wants to get past the V trigger. That's actually pretty smart because of the projectile and vulnerability on it. But as we can see right now, Itazan trying to utilize those jumps. The Akoma Devil pretty much on him. This guy Dogura 100% ready with the anti-air, swiping away, but still Dogura still has to face those crouching jabs. Kind of a nuisance, and that's why he changes it up. I like this. Oh, he was mashing for his life. He was churning for his life.
Churning butter like an unsatisfied nun, trying to get it done. The knockdown situation. Itazan adding up the damage. Still, there's a lot of room for Dogura to move, but the sweep off the feet. V-shift. Now you call for the corner. It's not where you want to be. Dogura, no. It's like a horror film. Vicious is like a horror film.
Eyes rolling. This is where we love to get the popcorn for this. I want to see it unravel. Who is going to get got first?
Explosion plus frames. Be reversal. Get off me for a second. Get some distance. It's not you, it's me. But the super situation on Dogura, so I can seal it.
Any sort of critical art conversion, but the jump back, so smart from Itazan. And what a time to actually jump back in anticipation for the slide. We were talking about immaculate reads. There was nothing there that could have been given, like any sort of information from Dogura where Itazan would have been like, I should jump back here. That was actually crazy.
You gotta do when you see the V-trigger on the deck, or just in general when you see the scissor kicks coming through, is a neutral jump. Really good to delete that. That's been like a game plan against some mini charge characters that have forward advancing movement. Speaking of advancing movement, trying to advance it to the corner with the EX to the block stuff from Itazan. The hands up. ready with the defense.
Oh, swinging away, the two fierces exchange, swiping away still from Dogura, keeping Inazan trapped in this corner, but still the roundhouse connects, forcing Dogura back just a little bit, flexing his way towards it. You talked about the utilization of V-Skull as an anti-air. That wouldn't have worked out if Inazan throws out the medium kick instead. That was so smart. The jumping medium kick is so good.
The regular super play. Inazan to also just run the super in the middle of the gap. Just like that, we're about to see some Oki. But again, he does have B-Shift. Spin it right there. Interruptions though, Inazan with a fat lead after that sequence, after that super, I should say.
No coverage on anti-air, but here comes the sweep into activation. Important tech from Dogura, and what a check there from Bison from Dogura using the medium kick after the tech throw. It's so dangerous. 15 seconds on the clock. Another important tech from Dogura.
Air to
He
air.
still meets him air to air. Inazan is in trouble. No, actually.
5 seconds on the clock.
Okay, this is tough.
Runs out the export. Oh, the reversal.
No, that goes to Dogura.
It's
That goes to
Dogura.
Dogura. The time over, even the V-reversal wasn't enough for Inazan to seal the deal. That was absolutely close. That was too close for comfort. Dogura does it again. He ties it up for the team 2-2. Another draw in the run back.
Dogura, you know, there were years taken off that man's life. There were years, decades. At the very tip, at the very hair, the 2-2 draw once again, as you said. What a match, yo. Dogura definitely played that well. Inazan, though, took him to the brink multiple times.
Took it to the brink, man. I'm glad you said that, because in the beginning it looked like Dogura was going to be in full control. We've attested to Itabashi's reads for years now. Look at how well he adapted towards the end of that set against Dogura. And tell me this guy is not in the master class when it comes to reads.
I got to give a lot of credit though on the hand of Dogura to be able to switch up his game plan quite a bit. You know, when things weren't working out, he was starting to at least try to use the V skill, but then Inazan would use that back at him. He'd back up for some space, and the defense that Dogura had overall though, to stay solid against a character that puts you in the corner, that runs the command grab specialist, the gorilla grip. I'm telling you, it is difficult to deal with as a Bison player. The times the V-shift, the delay rise, switching up like he does on his wake-up situation was fantastic. And so were all these matches, especially the Akira versus Nauman one, which I had not seen the Ken from this dude, but this was absolutely sick to take down the one that was on fire this entire season.
Man, Nauman just having the appropriate call-outs in this matchup too. Oh boy, that was actually pretty rough to see. The wake-up critical art against Nauman, and even Akira was like, yo, I can't believe that worked out. But overall, I think Nauman doing a fantastic job with this Ken play, fully adapting to what Akira wanted to do on wake up, and yeah, that's just exactly how it went. I really do enjoy watching Ken's this season too, with the full V set too. It's really enjoyable to watch.
Extra damage, and I would have enjoyed to watch MOV come through with a victory, but John T just stood in his way with this impressive Cody play. Dog, the sequences that we saw from Cody, from John T's Cody like this, and also one we're probably gonna see later with the chase on the V-shift, were fantastic. Great confirms here and there from MOV, but wasn't able to put everything together for Solidity, and it was another loss.
It was an unfortunate circumstance for MOV yet again. We see this full-on sequence from John Takeuchi. The comeback, right? We just need a little bit from MOV to clutch it up, but this is the moment where it all broke down. The stunt added up just far too much. And since then, just the mental shackles were placed back on MOV, imprisoning him from ever seeing the light of day. Back into the dungeon you go, the dungeon of L's. It's so rough. But here we go. The captains duking it out in the final matchup. The Goyo Oja Body Star needed the tie, and guess what? He definitely earned it. Look at how back and forth it was the entire time.
Again, to stay solid against, you know, a character like this in this matchup, to be able to willing to challenge and be in that mid-range space as a Bison player, run the poke game, and not, just kind of break down after these SBs were coming through. After Idazan was starting to make the reads, the jumpers and things like that, the defense alternating that on wake-up situationally every single time was fantastic from Dogura. And the air-to-airs right there. Sometimes we didn't see no anti-airs. He said, let me take this guys myself. I'll meet you up there. Top floor.
Yeah, again, utilizing different strategies later on in the matches. Idazan was slowly starting to pick apart the defense from Dogura, which could be pretty hard to deal with, right? Because majority of the time he's played in Street Fighter League, he's always been the one to hang back. But Idazan firing right back with patience of his own. It's so good. And the jump back to the read from Idazan was so on point. This is where it got a little bit heartbreaking, right? Towards the end, the very last couple of seconds, that chip was just enough. And of course, the Psycho Crusher 2, man, it could have gone either way. I didn't think the Psycho Crusher was going to do that much chip. I was so impressed by Dogura. It could have gone either way. If it was a draw game towards the end, I would have jumped out of my seat.
Got that noise complaint, but it is unfortunate for Detonation. They're, at the bottom. They needed this victory. They needed this win, but a draw, as you said, for Team Oja, Body Star, that's fine for them. And they're going to get the home interview, the team interview. Man, that lemon scent, there must be something in that lemon scent that just be boosting this guy to be able to not stress out and stay solid. I'm very curious what he's, going to say he's lucky for, probably lucky to survive the Geef onslaught that came his way from Idazan. Dogura says that he has used up all of his energy and strategy in this match. I hope he got more, because we're only at the halfway point of the season. We're not done yet, Dogura.
Oh no, but they're chilling though. They're chilling pretty much for the rest of the week. They don't have to go on for a while, I feel like, because the rest of the week, the rest of the other teams have to play and get in. But if we're talking about lucky moments, Dogura definitely wants to add that statement, or at least the game that he just won, as one of his lucky moments against Idazan. Even Akira was saying that it was tough to play back-to-back from yesterday, so these guys definitely need the rest. It's well deserved, and another couple of days to reassess. So far they've done pretty good on hanging in there. They're still within the range of top 5, if I'm not mistaken, getting 2 points. Camouflage Detonation, though, slowly clawing their way back up with 2 points as well. And a little bit of praise there coming from Akira towards the end, saying that Dogura is not the devil, but in fact the angel of the team, which is a pretty nice thing to say, considering how painful it is to play against someone like Dogura. He is one to churn out the time on the clock for so long. A coma devil being called the angel.
Fantastic play from just everybody here, but that shows you the top shelf action that you're getting here in Street Fighter League Japan. Even when you're fighting back-to-back, I'm sure they're going to have a game plan if they have to do so. Now you see the scores on the board. FAV, Roto Z falling to Team Soul 3-1, and then Oja Body Star, Team Detonation, 2-2 draw right there in our first day of episode 8. Man, just a lot of great action, a lot of tense moments right here, especially the finale has been fantastic. And now we see the leaderboards. Good 8 Squad, FEV, Roto Z, Shinobiism, Oja Body Star, and Gyogun are at the top spots. Soul, Milodon Beast, and Detonation at the bottom. So you have to, again, as you said, claw their way to the top, the victory, at least to get that point to be able to qualify.
Yeah, this is one less game to play for half of these teams. In fact, we have the other half to go for the rest of this week. It's Milodon Beast versus Shinobiism Gaming, followed by Good 8 Squad going up against Team Gyogun. You guys do not want to miss that, because look at the roster. Do I have to say more? Absolutely not. But I will say you guys need to tune into YouTube, Twitch, as well as Milodon over at Capcom Fighters JP, as well as follow Capcom_esports. Man, I gotta say, this has been non-stop action all week in and week out, and we've been doing this for the last, month and a half so far. It's been so fun to watch, Saint.
Absolutely. Y'all keep your eyes locked and loaded on the Street Fighter Live action, and we'll see you super soon for more Street Fighter League Japan. Peace.